Peace, and love. How is everybody doing today? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Come on in. We got a great show for y'all today. We want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Oh, yes. Happy Mother's Day to my mommy, Miss Betty. I love you so much.
We love you. Happy Mother's Day. We hope you enjoyed your day, ladies.
Also to Miss Gloria McDowell, we love you so much.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. It's a beautiful day. But yeah, welcome to Candid Conversation. I am one half of your host, King George, aka Mr. Knowledge Power. And this is my beautiful co-host, my queen, the beautiful, the intelligent, my one and only.
Oh, Dr.Natalie, Nicole. Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to Candid Conversation, where we talk about topics that may not be popular,
but important.
Yes, very, very important.
Yeah, again, we got a great show for you. If this is your first time here, welcome. We appreciate you being here. Thanks for the support. And to our day ones, thank you so much for being here since day one, supporting this movement. We appreciate you. So yeah, let's get into it. Listen,
Okay, you are something else.
But yeah,
two of us need to be wearing glasses up here, folks.
Yeah, she's right.
Yes, you got our quote for today, honey?
I do.
Okay.
The quote simply says, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment."
All right.
And that ties into a lot of the topics that we're going to discuss today.
All right, and how you doing, Mr. Turner? Good to see you
Major Turner
tonight.
Salute, sir.
Yes.
And happy Mother's Day to the lady of your house. Happy Mother's Day to her.
Yes. And since he's here, we do have our DVD that we have for Vigilante Inc. Yeah. We encourage you to check out Major Turner and get your own copy, your own signed copy from our hometown hero and vet here in Columbus, Georgia.
That's right.
Make sure you get yours.
We appreciate you, sir. Thank you. But yeah, we got a great show for y'all today. We hope that you have
had a wonderful day.
Had a wonderful day, but we hope that you find value in our content. So yeah, but without further ado, let's get into it.
All right, we're going to go over those dates.
Yeah, the election calendar.
It is still election season, folks.
It is. Now we're down to the last week for early voting.
Yes.
The first day, April 20th, was the first day, of course, the ballots open, the polls open. And then April 27th was the last day for advanced voting started April 27th.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
But yeah, advanced voting ends this week, May 15th. So you still have time to get to the polls, make your voice count. Make your voice heard.
And now that is a Friday, right? The 15th is a Friday?
Yeah, I believe so. But let me make sure.
So that means there'll be no weekend voting this upcoming week. There'll be no weekend voting. You have to get it in on Friday.
Yes. So please, if you can early vote, please do that. Don't wait till the last minute. Anything can happen, and then guess what? You can't vote, or you don't get heard. So we definitely don't need that to happen, especially in this critical election locally.
Right, and those numbers have been decreasing every day this past week, folks.
Yeah.
So this is our last opportunity to get in there early voting. If you need a ride, please let someone know. Please let us know so we can get you to the polls.
Yeah, let us know, please. But yeah, and there's the, you want to go over the polling locations for early voting real quick?
Sure. So you have 3 locations. You have Macon Road, which is at the Citizen Center. You also have Shirley B. Winston, which is off of Steam Mill Road. And then you also have the Northside Rec, which is off of Veterans. It's close to Northside High School. And it's like going out to Harris County. So I did kind of poll citizens. Maybe one person responded as how's the traffic in the mornings?
Yeah.
Because I know as a parent, 7 a.m. and in the evenings, like between 3 and 4 when they're getting out of school or going to school, it is hectic to get in and out. But one gentleman stated he went in at 9, had very great experience with 4 ladies who greeted him. So those would be the better times, between 9 and maybe 2 o'clock to get in and get out without, a lot of traffic issue. Because anytime at 7, you're going to have an issue. And, 4 3 or 4 o'clock, you're going to have an issue. But those are your 3 locations.
Yeah. So, and again, get there because, you know, it's a highly trafficked area.
Very much.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right there in that Veterans, what is that street, that side street right there?
I want to say it's like Old Guard or something like that.
Yeah. Just make sure, just be aware that it's a high traffic area. That's all we're trying to say. So if you're going to go to Northside Rec and Vote, just be aware that you got to get there after the morning traffic for school. Parents are dropping their schools off, not only at Northside High School, but Veterans Middle School and what's the elementary right there.
And,
so it's
North
congested.
Columbus, all of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's congested over there. So
yeah,
just you know, make wise decisions about what time you're going to go.
Right. Absolutely. And we So you got your quote, honey?
Yeah, I read it, but I'll read it again.
Did you? Oh,
she needs
listen,
some coffee, y'all.
I need some
a Red Bull or
some
something.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, but I'll read it again.
Thank you, honey.
No problem. No problem.
Y'all see how you just threw me under the bus right there, okay? You threw me under the bus.
I did. But yeah, so the quote is from Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great essayist. If you're not familiar with him, please look him up.
Okay.
But it says, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and as Black people, African Americans, what have they been trying to do with us and make us for the last 300 years, 400 years plus? So, that's going to tie into everything that we're talking about today and all of the topics. So,
all right. So we have several topics on the discussion for tonight.
Yeah.
And before we get into them, let's start with the ballot review. Who's in District 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and plus mayoral. Who you should be looking for and hopefully voting for in those districts. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. District 1, we have
Cindy Barnes and Karen Gaskins. That's District 1. And I don't know if you want to elaborate a little bit.
Well, you know, we endorse Cindy Barnes. She's showed up to most of the forums.
Yes.
She's been in the community, vocal, and really she has been a part of this, I was about to say student council. This, what do you call it, honey?
City Council.
City Council
meetings
for years now. For a couple of years, sitting front and center in the front row, making herself smart, making herself, you know, available and accessible. So Cindy Barnes is who we chose for District 1.
Yeah.
And then we have District 3. 3 folks in District 3.
Right.
We have Mr. Zach Lee. We have Dr. Jake Golden. And then we have Sherry Aaron. Okay?
That's right.
So I endorse, because we were a house divided.
We are in that way.
Miss Sherry Aaron, a former veteran, and she has been visible in this community, been here for the past 17, 18 years, raised both of her girls right there in District 3, committed to the district. And then you have Mr. Zach Lee, which I never met prior to this election season.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I met Zach. I know who he is. We grew up in the same circles. We got some of the same people, same acquaintances, same friends. But Zach, he needs a lot more work. He needs a lot more work. He seems like he's passionate about what he's saying in the community, but he needs a lot more work. I feel like he's not there yet. He needs.
And we have seen some improvement. This last forum at the church, he improved with, you know, expanding a little bit on.
I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Expanding on, you know, what he's trying to bring to the community. But yes, I do agree that there's much work more to be done.
Yeah.
But it's good to see some improvement since he has been running for this election.
Okay. Okay.
And then there was Dr. Jake Golden,
yes.
which another person I had no idea who he is prior to this election. Now, he was endorsed by Mr. Huff, which does not speak volumes for me. If anything, that's a negative situation.
Yeah.
And I understand this. Now, I understand that Mr. Huff is very well respected. He's a nice person. I've spoken to him before. He's presented proclamations for Carver that I've submitted for the girls basketball team. So when we give these reviews or, you know, comments or what have you, it's not personal, you know, it's just based on what District 3 looks like right now and under his tenure as a city council person. Yeah. And so Dr. Golden was supposed to be at this men's roundtable this past, what day was that, Saturday?
Putting the cart before the horse.
Well, I'm just saying, he wasn't present, so he has not been consistent, accessible, things of that nature in the community, and I'm not sure it's because maybe he had to work, and he, works more than over an hour or so away, over 100 miles away.
Yeah.
So, people, those little things and details matter, because if he's not going to be here during the week, he can't serve, and District 3 needs a lot of work. How you doing, Mr. Wilson?
Yeah, welcome, sir. Welcome.
What's up? How you doing?
Yeah, shout out to Corey. Listen, he's a part of the family now. We appreciate you.
We are so proud of you, young man.
Yeah.
We are so proud to see you showing up in the community, speaking up. We're looking forward to seeing you this week.
Yes, indeed.
We are so proud. Yes.
Yes, indeed. So, Salute to you.
Okay, and that's all for District 3, and then we transition to District 5.
District 5, man.
Who you got?
We got Mr. Watkins, Mr. Robert Watkins for District 5.
Please vote, folks.
Listen, if you've been paying attention, you know Charmaine Crabb is not it. She's the incumbent, but she's not for the people. She's for certain people. She's not for all people. So. Yeah, she needs to go. But your thoughts?
Yes, she is not for the people. She needs to have several seats. We need to cancel Crabb. And even if she gets in again, Corey has been sharing a lot of information about recall.
Yeah.
If she is elected again, we got 180 days once she's in to find somebody in District 5 to lead the charge in getting her out of there, right?
Yes.
She has not shown up to any of the brown, and I don't say it like this, but the brown, what do they say, the black or the brown forums. She's not shown up at all.
Not at all.
And she does not care to show up, which, you know what, if I was disrespectful the way that she was disrespectful, mafiosos, criminalizing homelessness, things of that nature, I probably wouldn't show up either. But what's sad about that is that here recently, on a disclosure, more than $3,300 to Kogel. That tells me she's confident that she's going to get this seat, because who gives money to another campaign when you're running your own campaign unless you feel you're good?
Yeah, and that amount of money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe if it was a few hundred, it might not be so, but
$3,300, that's a lot of money to give to another campaign.
Yeah.
And listen, it speaks volumes before Miss Kogel not to be a Republican, to have all of these Republicans supporting her.
Yeah, listen, set the comment section on fire. We love to hear back from y'all. We love feedback. We love to, dialogue, so we can all be on the same page. We can all learn something new.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, District 5, listen, we need to change immediately.
And she
like
can't
yesterday.
help herself. She is dismissive. She is disrespectful.
Man.
She cannot help herself, and she needs to go.
Yeah, it's a serious situation. If you've been paying attention to the local election, this is a critical election for so many reasons, but we're going to dive into all of that tonight.
Right, okay. So that's District 5.
Yes.
Mr. Watkins is doing a great job so far with campaigning. Please support him in District 5. Please. That's Mr. Robert Watkins.
Yeah.
D7, District 7. What you got?
Listen, and make sure you're doing your own due diligence. You know what I mean? These are the people that we have vetted and we believe are the best qualified. But, we can all agree to disagree here respectfully.
Yes, goodness.
But yeah, moving on to District 7.
I'm going to give you the side eye, though, if you voting for somebody like Crabb. I'm going to give you the side eye, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, District 7, we have Shiara Richardson for District 7.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's who we endorse. We believe she's the best candidate for the whole of District 7.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That's what we're concerned about. Not just uptown. We are concerned about the south side of District 7 too. And the candidate should be concerned about all of District 7.
Yes.
The historic district, the
Liberty District.
Liberty District as well.
Yes.
Everything that encompasses District 7, these candidates should be concerned about.
Yes. And, Kogel is the current city council person for District 7.
Yeah.
And it's been over 2 years. The first time I heard her share some concern about an eyesore and blight was for something on, what's downtown road called?
Broadway?
Broadway, right?
Yeah.
And so I immediately followed up because right off of South Lumpkin, there's a lot of blight. There's a lot of eyesore. And she never mentioned anything about those.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been consistent. We've been consistent in following up with those. And it don't look no better than it looked more than 3 or 4 years ago when she took the seat. And we do not want anyone taking the seat that's not going to care enough to do better and represent better in District 7. So that leads us to our next person, which is Lakeitha Ash. And she is running for District 7 as well.
She is. Shout out to Lakeitha. We know Lakeitha.
Yes.
We supported Lakeitha in the community.
Yes.
Her business is in District 7.
Right off of South Lumpkin Road.
I think her address is 1965 South Lumpkin Road, beauty supply store. You know, we need to support African American owned businesses, and she's one of them in the community, along with Mr. Larry off of Winton Road. He's been a fixture since I was a kid. Right. That beauty supply store has been there. But yeah, so Lakeitha, we talked about this is not her first rodeo. Right. You know, she's ran before. But we know and we feel, we know at this point that you should be the front runner based on your resume. Right. And things that you can say that you've done in District 7 over the last umpteen years. But we haven't seen the progression. We haven't seen the growth in that way. So we couldn't endorse Lakeitha. Right. When we show up, whatever candidate shows up for District 7, we want them to bring their best because District 7 deserves, not only the District 7, but Columbus deserves the best candidate for the job. And there's so much work to be done. Yeah. And I have said this over and over again. It does not take a title or a position to do the work that needs to be done in our communities. And if you're not doing it, you know, without the title of the position, or you're waiting until you get the title of the position to do things, to me, that's not leadership. So those are areas that as a community, we have to work on because what's happened is that people have ran and lost and they disappeared. You know, they're not showing up at city council meetings. They're not on the agenda. Outside of elections. You know, and even you don't have to be on the city. The main reason why we're going to city council and taking time for the agenda portion is because they're not responding to emails. They're not responding to text messages or phone calls. And so we have to put it on the record. Hey, this is a concern. Yes. But everybody, there's so much work that needs to be done. We need everybody to get on those agendas and ensure the voices are heard. Yeah, this is a movement. This is a movement. This is something that we should not take lightly. You know what I mean? Because our rights are being taken away from us every day. Yes. So we got to show up. We have to be heard. We have to show up consistently, and we have to show up in force. Right. That's the only way something's going to get done and things are going to change. Right. And then the last candidate is Becca Zajac. Becca Zajac, yeah. And of course, we had an opportunity to sit down with Becca and interview. And listen, I was impressed. I was impressed by Becca. She's got that 311 app, but most of her work is being done uptown, downtown, whatever you want to call it. And she's not cared about South Lumpkin Road or District 3 or 31901 or 31903 prior to now. And honestly, you know, we just need people who truly, like, it's not an election season thing. It's I care consistently 365 days a year. Yeah. And with what we've experienced with Kogel, it is very hard to trust that if elected, and she likely will be, if elected, we can count on her to really do what needs to be done in District 7. And you're talking about Becca? Becca, yeah. Yeah. And for me, Becca, she came across as, of course, knowledgeable, intelligent, and she named the things that she's already done in District 7. However, for me, it boils down to, and we can talk about, you know, we talk about that it shouldn't be about race, it shouldn't be about black or white, but in reality, it is about that. At the end of the day, it is about that. And this district is predominantly African American, over 60%. Yes. And it deserves, from what I understand, it has never had African American representation. It deserves African American representation. It deserves people who understand the struggle, the challenges, and who are willing to fight 10 toes down
to make sure that District 7 is represented well. And
Yeah.
that's what we are thirsty and hungry for.
And fighting for.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. So, that's District 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have District 9, 4 folks in District 9.
Yes, at large. And this is huge. This at large seat is huge.
What makes it huge, honey?
Because they're over all of the districts.
Okay.
Yeah, they're over the city. You know what I mean? So their influences, they have a little bit more influence over the city versus a specific district.
Right.
But yeah.
And my thoughts with that, when you're at large and you cover multiple districts, you got to be able to manage your time wisely, and then also care about, what's going on in those districts, and then be knowledgeable about it. Because as I've shared before, when I spoke with Toya Tucker, because I was not getting any feedback or any support from District 7, she said I could reach out to my at-large representatives and they would be able to help me as well. So you need to know that you are going to be contacted, that you need to be accessible, and you need to know what's going on in all of the districts.
Right.
I will tell you, I feel like that has been an epic failure with forums and what has been represented. I've never seen some of these people doing anything in some of these districts.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what you got to pay attention to. And that's what we talk about when we talk about being well informed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When candidates are in these forums, you have to pay attention to their resume. What have you done lately? You know what I mean? What have you done
consistently?
What body of work have you laid? What foundation have you laid
and
that will make us
trust
you? That will make us trust you with power. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and just because you have a business in the South Side or in the district, that means diddly squat.
Thank you.
If your social footprint is not contributing in a positive way, picking up trash, turning in illegal dumping, holding people accountable to keep our community clean. It don't mean nothing just because you have a business, because what you're actually doing is just taking.
Right, nor does it mean or amount to a hill of beans if you've lived in this district for 20 plus years.
No. What
have you done since you've been living in this district?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the things you have to pay attention to when candidates are talking about what they're going to do for you.
Right. And just prime example, right there off of Torch Hill Road, right? For the past 3 or 4 months, I've been highlighting the fact that there was illegal dumping, tires, this, that, and the third, giving people in District 3, that's candidates, that's running for this district, hey, an opportunity to get this stuff cleaned up, or District 7, whoever it belongs to clean this stuff up, right? It did not happen. That was like a prime example. The receipts are on social media. It did not happen. Then I put together a presentation, went to the public agenda, told them about we need to do what have you for this. It's done. It's taken care of. So as a citizen, and this is what I shared with Becca, as a citizen, if I can get these things done and taken care of, what do we need representation for if you're not going to take the time to make sure things are taken care of in our community? If you can ride up and down Kogel, South Lumpkin Road to your association meetings, look at mattresses that's been there for months, look at trash and illegal dumping and not care enough to turn it in or to fix it, we don't need you.
Right.
We don't need you.
Right. So we can go to the comments.
Yeah, Corey says being a leader got to be in you, not on you. That's right, sir.
Okay.
That's
what
right.
we're talking about. That's what we're talking about.
And he said, why Brielle ain't put the money up for that? To clean up the tires and the blight.
Listen, Corey, we're going to get to Mr. Brielle. We got a little section specific for him, but we're going to get to him.
Yes, and he also says, what's the difference between at-large and the city manager? Does that at-large council vote hold more weight than a regular council man's vote? Okay, that's a great question.
Yeah,
that's a great question. Go ahead, honey.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. Each city councilor, they all have the same power as far as voting
power.
That's right. They all represent one vote. But yeah, what the city manager does and what the city at large council member does is two totally different responsibilities.
And the city manager does not vote at all. He carries out the vote and the will of the city council.
Right.
And that is what's being left out a whole lot. They want to say the city manager has so much power, but they make the votes. They approve the resources, the budgets, the things of that nature. And then they take what they have, what they've been allotted and given, and they do the best that they can with it. So resources, funding, you know, that's why we're paying attention for sure this year to this budget review, for the simple fact that 2 years ago on the public agenda, we talked about giving more money to public works so that we could keep our city clean.
Right.
Guess what? 2 years here, now, no different.
Yeah.
It's bad. And so people will blame that on the city manager. Has nothing to do with the city manager. Has a whole lot to do with the city council, what they approve, and who they're giving their money to. Because the sheriff's department is getting plenty of money.
Plenty.
Overtime, $2 million. Where they do that at without getting permission first?
Listen, yeah. But we're going to get to all of that.
Okay.
But yeah, I hope that answered your question about the city manager and the at-large seat.
He said, so they blaming IH for what they've been voting on. Absolutely. Everything they have approved. That's all he can carry out, honey. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
But again, that's what we talk about. If people are not informed, they'll just hear these narratives and run with it.
And
you know what I mean?
run with
And those
it.
are the people who are causing confusion and are a detriment to the voting process.
And you know who else is left out of this? The mayor. The mayor don't get no smoke about nothing.
Not at all.
And he is the chief executive office, the visionary of this city right now. And it looks the way it looks because he has not set the tone, or this is the tone he has set.
This is the tone he has
Trash
set. Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah. So
Last situation, mayor.
Okay.
Last situation.
yeah, we got Jaketra Colbert, Dr. Jaketra Colbert. We have Steve Kelly. We have.
Listen, I almost was like, huh? But I got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. If you know who Dr. Jaketra Colbert is,
Yes.
Steve Kelly, Chris Brialt, Isaiah Hughley, and Joanne Coble. Those are the
Yes. Did we
candidates
say
for mayor.
LaJoy?
Mark LaJoy.
Mr. LaJoy.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So the mayoral race is stacked.
Yes.
The stage is set. These are all of the candidates. So hopefully everybody's well informed on who's running and why they're running at this point. Yeah, because you know we're getting to that deadline. This is the last week for early voting, and then next week, you know, we're going to get the results of the election. So yeah, but this mayoral race, we are excited.
We're excited.
We're coming to the tail end of it, but we can't stress enough about how critical this local election is, considering everything that's going on in the nation.
Right.
With the current commander-in-chief, president, whatever you want to call him, you know, it's a lot going on, and it's a lot at stake. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot at stake with this gerrymandering and with the Voting Rights Act that was just gutted. You know what I mean? This is something that's, you know, I would have never thought would have happened in my lifetime.
Not in 2026.
You know what I mean? So this is, you know, if this doesn't make you angry, I don't know what's going to make you angry. This Voting Rights Act that was just dismantled and gutted opens the door for Jim Crow all over again.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
it's a slap in the face, honestly.
Man.
It is a slap in the face.
Man.
Now,
we got work to do.
Yes. The next thing we're going to talk about is the elections board meeting. Corey was in the house. Dr. Broadwater was in the house. Denise Cambridge was in the house. And then Major Turner was in the house, right?
Well, before we segue into that, we didn't talk about who we endorsed.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, honey. Go ahead.
So we endorsed Isaiah Hughley for mayor.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Let's start there.
Yes.
And why we endorsed him is because we properly vetted him.
Yes.
We believe, based on his resume, that he's the best qualified person for the job, hands down. You know.
And where's the resume for everybody else? Where is the resume? Where is the government experience?
Yeah.
You know, outside of being a soldier, outside of being in the city council, and the track record is poor.
Yeah.
Like Brielle is a lawyer. Before now, you know, the only thing I knew him for was giving money to schools. That's it. And now I know a little bit more about him, and he definitely cannot be the mayor of this city because he does not have the compassion or the heart to care about the homeless or the unhoused, right? He said he would rather not focus on them. Yeah. You know, this 1%.
He's not worried about the 1%.
Yeah, you know, I'll focus on the 99%. On top of that, you know, I don't know who got upset with him for giving a pack of cigarettes to someone who's unhoused.
Citizens got upset.
I don't know, but how is that helping to solve or support that person by giving them a pack of cigarettes? He asked you for one, you gave him a whole pack. Do you care about that person? I don't think so. And on top of that, share some information on social media. Go check it out for yourself.
Yeah.
Apparently, how he shows up in the courtroom, that's how he showed up in the forums, all over the place.
Yeah.
Not answering the questions, deflecting, and then he is just unprofessional on social media. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that later on the list.
Okay.
But he's unprofessional. He cannot be our mayor. Something like LaJoy, because he's unprofessional, and Kelly, petty, all in people's comments, just very immature and unprofessional. We don't want people like that.
Yeah, and what is your saying? How do you say it? How you do anything?
It's how you do everything.
Yeah, so that's what you can expect from leadership if these guys get into office. Mr. Steve Kelly, who, by the way, is a MAGA supporter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And he doesn't want to put that out there, and he doesn't want you to know that. He voted for Trump. So what does that say about him?
Yes.
Let's talk about Mark LaJoy,
Yes.
who is a proud Trumper,
Yes.
who is a proud MAGA supporter.
Yes.
Wants to be your mayor.
And these folks openly voted for a documented, we can't make this stuff up, a documented
This is public information.
rapist, pedophile, and a 34-count convicted felon. And they have the audacity to talk about Isaiah Hughley.
Right.
They have the audacity. No mugshots, no criminal records, no pedophile, no rapist, no any of that. That is how low the standards are for them and how high it is for us.
Exactly.
And people need to pay attention to that.
Exactly.
Real quick, he says it's very easy to give money away for a tax write-off. You're right, young man.
That's
You're
true.
right.
That's true.
Giving that man cigarettes, the whole pack was so demanding to that man to say that thinking anything else is ridiculous. The whole post was so demeaning, yes, to that man, and to say or think anything else is ridiculous. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Very disrespectful to the man.
But that's who he is. If you've been paying attention, that's who Chris Briall. He's very arrogant. He's very, very. What's the word I'm looking for?
He's the American dream, like his campaign manager.
Well, dismissive is the word I'm trying to say. Yeah. This guy. Yeah. He's not serious at all. He is not seriously running for mayor. He's just there to split the vote. That's it. That's all. If you're paying attention.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've heard his plan in the forum, he keeps talking about water fountains in our park.
Yeah.
He keeps talking about the trash.
And potholes.
In the grand scheme of things, those things are important, but there are more things at the top of the priority list that needs to be talked about. Right. But that's his answer for every question.
And those things are more important than unhoused. Imagine that.
Exactly.
Imagine that.
Exactly. So again, Chris Briall he's not at all serious. Not only that, but this guy is going after citizens who disagree with him or who call him out. But again, this guy's not at all serious.
We're going to go into the details a little bit later because what he has done in his campaign manager is absolutely unacceptable. Yeah. And we're going to go into some details about that.
Yeah, but so those are the candidates for mayor. And then let's get to Jakeisha Colbert. Anything she says is null and void. She has had a sexual, personal relationship with one of her clients. She had him arrested, called the police on him, knowing his record, knowing his challenges, knowing that he struggles with mental health.
Knowing how to push those buttons.
And she has had him arrested. But, she's so in love with the guy. You know what I mean? But that's who says she wants to be your mayor. That's who says she's concerned about mental health and public safety in Columbus.
Right. But not concerned about in her own house. In less than a month of her services being solicited, she moved him in. In 3 months, they was married. What person in their right mind conducts themselves in that manner? And then when confronted about it, she wants to play victim. People are trying to attack her. People don't want her to run for mayor.
Right.
All of this foolery when in fact you have harmed one of our community citizens.
Exactly.
Based on mental health that you're trying to champion and public safety. it's contradictory. It
Exactly.
don't go together.
Exactly.
And you have been dishonest about it. You can't say it's private because you're a professional and you were hired to be a professional, not to move someone into your house and take advantage of the vulnerable community. And the young man may not understand that, but I understand that.
We understand.
You understand that.
Yeah.
And people that got good sense understand it. And in addition to that, you know, in my inbox, there are other stories. I haven't shared them because, you know, I don't have the receipts.
Yeah.
But there have been other women who said that she was inappropriate with their spouse. So this is a pattern. And to me, you hurt one too many.
Yeah, and she put another black person in jail.
That's right.
You know what I mean? The system is already rigged against African American men.
That is right.
And African American people in general.
That's right.
And she goes out here knowing his background.
That's right.
It's not like she didn't know. She
Had
knew his
very
background.
much access to everything.
Still chose to pursue this young man, and then had him thrown in jail and gaslighted him, you know, because it didn't work out, or she was upset, or whatever her reasons was. But we can leave it there.
And
we
now,
don't need to give her any more credence
now
on this
she's
on
getting,
this platform.
you know, spotlight for it. She's probably trying to work things out and had him write statements and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, we're not buying
But
it.
there's no way you can slice it. She was solicited for services.
Right.
And that's all she should have provided, not anything else. You don't do this kind of stuff to the community, to our African American young men. This young man went in jail at age 17. He spent the majority of his adult life in jail to get out, to change his life and move in the right direction. And instead of that happening, he was introduced to Dr. Bryant.
Yeah, and the people who introduced her had great intentions, really good intentions, and were trying to give her an opportunity.
Right.
And this is how she repaid them.
Right.
But yeah, if you've been paying attention to these forums and even these flyers, she goes by Dr. Jaquitra Bryant. Why is that?
Yeah,
why
is she
isn't
not
her married
acknowledging?
name
Right.
being put out there? There's a reason why, but do your own due diligence, like I
Right.
said.
Ask her about it and see how she blocked you and shut you down.
Right. Yeah, so we'll leave it there. We can move on.
Okay, so on to this election board meeting.
Okay.
So, like I said, Mr. Corey Wilson was in the house.
Yes, he was.
Denise Cambridge was in the house. Dr. Broadwater was in the house. Major Turner was in the house. These are the agendas that you can find on their webpage. This was the presentation that was not linked to the agenda. And then some of the things that they discussed were voter registration, turnout, and then also, you know, what's going on about the nonpartisan and general primary information. Now, this was a very, you know, I think a lot of people were upset in this meeting. When you talk about voter registration, when you talk about general, primary, nonpartisan election information, and you open the floor to the public, that means that the public has the right to discuss anything, any topic under the umbrella of what's on your agenda. Well, when Dr. Broadwater got up there to talk about voter registration, the fact that there's no billboards, they need more funding. He wants to talk to city council. These are positive things. He wants to talk to city council to see if they can get more funding so that they can, you know, reach voters more. The chair told him he could not talk about those things because they weren't prepared to answer any questions. Well, sir, we don't need you to be prepared to answer questions. We need you to be prepared to listen. And that's exactly what they should have done, was listen. That was one thing. A lot of we was upset about that because apparently they need some training. Apparently they don't understand what the public agenda is about. And these meetings tend to be centered around them and not serving the public. And that tone needs to be changed. In addition to that, I was on the public agenda following up about some things, live streaming the meeting so everybody has access to it, their ADA compliance, in addition to updating their websites. I mean, I have done research on at least 5 comparable counties. Their websites are easy to navigate. You can find the information you need. they have a list of specific dates, May 12th, 2026 at 2 p.m., location. I've asked for this kind of stuff so people can look at the website and get the information they need instead of trying to figure it out. Well, I don't know if they're lazy. I don't know if they don't have the skill or the ability, but here we are almost 6 months in and no improvements, none. And they don't care to improve it. And what the lady told another, Sherry was there. District 3, Sherry was there. What she told Sherry is that we have answered them multiple times. It's in the minutes. Well, guess what? I couldn't walk out of there without looking at those minutes. We don't have minutes since February. So March is not there. April is not there. And in addition to the minutes that are there, it says nothing about any answers or anything. Another reason why we need live streaming so that we can go back and reference what was said, what was decided. But telling people that we've answered them multiple times and just because you don't like the answers, that is unacceptable. You need to be ADA compliant. You need to be accessible to the community. Live streaming, voting is one of the most precious rights that we have. There's no excuse. And the comparable counties, Cobb, Fulton, Clayton, and another one, they have live streaming. They allow their citizens access to what's being said, what's being voted on. That is what transparency looks like.
Right.
And I don't know what needs to happen, but something needs to happen, because on top of that, we are not getting the support that we need from people who are supposed to be supporting the citizens.
Yeah, we got to show up in force. We got to get on the agenda, city council agenda. But yeah, consistency. People got to just keep showing up and keep holding them accountable, and things will change. And that's how you affect change. You got to keep showing up and let them know we're not going away, and keep putting the spotlight on the issue. So that they know that this is serious and people are concerned.
And they need to get a class from the clerk of council, because on our city council agenda meetings, there's links. So I walked into the meeting and I heard it from when they started. This wasn't on the slide. This wasn't on the TVs. They didn't attach it to the agenda and make sure everybody got it. Neither did they announce that, hey, we have these presentations for you to follow along. None of this. I don't understand how you get director pay, how you are appointed to serve the people, and you serve at the bare minimum and like you don't want to. And if you don't want to be there, then please remove yourself so somebody else, younger people who care and who can get some things done, will take these seats.
Right. And that's why people got to show up. And then those who are in these seats, like you said, if you don't want to be there, go ahead and step down. Go ahead and step down, because, people want to see, like you said, change, and they want to be able to go in there and feel like they can get the minutes.
They're outdated, period.
Yeah, and that's what needs to change.
It's 2026. Technology, we're in a technology age. There is no reason why we shouldn't have access. We shouldn't have to call. We shouldn't have to email you. We should be able to go to your website and get what we need at our convenience. And Wilson says, TVs be out in the council chambers. How much of our tax dollars are we paying for this lackluster service? Absolutely, 9%.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, exactly.
And they have been a collective group for a very long time. Well, sir, they need to be dismantled.
And that's part of the problem, because it's business as usual, not only with the Board of Elections, but the City Council and leadership in Columbus.
Dismantled.
Yeah, some of the events that we go to, we see some of the elected officials or previous elected officials, and they are elderly. You know what I mean? Nobody should have to die in their seat.
Nope.
You know what I mean? No disrespect to Judy Thomas and her family, but at some point, and also Pops Barnes and his family, at some point,
you know better.
There needs to be, somebody has to pass the torch, and they're not passing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why things are the way they are, as far as the system is old and outdated.
That part.
And antiquated. You know what I mean?
That part, yes.
So yeah, there has to be fresh new leadership.
Yes.
And there has to be, it needs to be, there has to be it needs to be diverse. You need older, you need younger, and then there's some in the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's plenty of young people out here, you know, technology savvy, like the problems that they're having, and we work really hard.
Yeah.
These kids will be running circles and having this stuff taken care of already. And
Right.
so, you know, I'm not going to say that everybody that's a certain age is outdated, because my dad's not. You know, he went to college. He went to college in his 60s.
Yeah.
He was magna, whatever you want to
Cum
call it.
laude.
Yeah, you know, he's big on technology. He's smart and those things. So I won't say it's an age thing, but it's a complacent thing. You know, this is how we've been doing things, and this is how we're going to do it. Well, it's not going to cut it.
Right.
If it's not broken, don't fix it. This is 2026. It's not going to cut it. And somebody needs to intervene on our behalf, because the meetings are not citizen friendly. Neither is the webpage. And there's no way that the public agenda, the chair has a right to tell somebody, no, because we're not prepared to answer any questions. We don't need you to answer any questions. We need you to listen at that point. But then when, in fact, you are prepared, you didn't answer no questions.
Yeah.
You didn't answer any.
Yeah.
Mr. Turner says, how long does it take to do minutes for a 30-minute meeting in 2026? Less than that, 5 minutes. You're right.
Yeah,
Those
that's
minutes
part of the
aren't
problem.
long.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
They're not long at all. And so it's just absolutely, there's no excuse for it, you know. And it's not like we're shooting from the hip and just making stuff up. I've worked in clerical, we understand what it takes to get things done if you want to operate in excellence. But when you're complacent and you don't care and there's no accountability, this is what you get. This is what you get.
Exactly. But yeah, we got to keep applying pressure. We got to keep showing up and speaking truth to power, and like you said, being consistent about it. So,
and I want to remember Denise, right? Hopefully, you have used your books, your
Yes.
706 Citizen Civic Engagement book to know your candidates, to make your votes, and all of those things. And she also mentioned the fact about how the youth turnout is very low, right? And that is a shame.
yeah,
It is a shame that
the youth turnout is low.
for voting,
Yeah.
the numbers are low.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was a frustration for her. I'm very glad that she shows up to these meetings, and everybody brings a piece of the pie of concern that needs to be updated, you know, and talked about. But it doesn't seem that the election board people care about it, you know? And then, you know, one lady had the nerve to come out and say that, you know, you were wrong, is how you said it. This is not how this works. You don't get to control people's language. You don't get to control what they can say and cannot say.
Yeah.
You listen, and you then move forward in trying to serve the people. It seems like they're just concerned about serving themselves and what's okay for them.
And that's why leadership and those who are on this board, they have to go with. Things need to change.
Yeah.
Because it's business as usual. And until, you know, some fresh blood, if you will, gets in there, that's what we're going to continue to get.
Right.
People are comfortable
Right.
in these spaces and in these positions. So
Right. And so, you know, I already looked up, Mr. Wilson, I already looked up the recall situations for appointed board folks. I don't think they can be recalled, but Lord, if they could be recalled, you know, some of them, most of them need to go.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they're not operating in a spirit of excellence and of servant leadership for our community.
Right, they're not receptive either. So, but we're working. We're gonna, you know, we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it
then,
takes time. Change takes time sometimes.
yeah, when I asked her, was she ADA compliant up in there? Oh, that's above my pay grade. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
You should know, as the clerk. You should know. All right, so the SCOTUS and the voting rights is what's next up on our discussion, honey.
Man, so where do we begin with this Voting Rights Act that was recently gutted, that just turned our world upside down? And we can't say enough about white supremacy and those who are trying to perpetuate this system and keep black folks in the back of the bus, to keep black folks quiet, to keep black folks, you know, just begging for a handout and enslaved, if you will.
Right.
That's what this Voting Rights Act has done. You know what I mean? They're trying to keep us, you know, in the past is what they're trying to do.
Right.
And if we don't stand up and vote, if we don't stand up and challenge our leadership and challenge what they're trying to do, you know, they're gonna keep doing it with no problem.
Right. So it was a 6-3 vote where what they basically voted to do was to make it harder for you to prove, or you need to prove, that there's a racial discrimination as it regards gerrymandering and diluting the vote. So they have basically manipulated the system where instead of voters are choosing their elected officials or politicians are choosing their voters. That's exactly what they have done. And without even voting, you know, you can check this out on social media, they have already gained several seats. Yeah. Wiped out some seats and gained several seats without even voting, without even allowing people to elect folks. So this is how serious the game is that they're playing. Yeah.
And we can't say how serious this is enough. Like if you don't understand the magnitude of what has happened, then you know you have to be involved. Otherwise, you know what I mean, they're going to keep doing stuff like this because they feel like they can. Right. You know what I mean? They are arrogant, they are cocky, and they feel like this is their time, and they're going to keep trying to take our rights away as much as they can, whenever they can.
And then I want to add that they weakened the oversight, so that there's no oversight in place. And basically, politicians can easily move and draw maps the way that they want to. And we don't have a say. We don't have a say, and we got to fight. We got to get a lawyer. We got to do all these things to prove that, hey, this is not right or it's discriminatory or anything like that. So that's what we're dealing with. And there's two terms that I wanted to bring up. Okay. Packing and cracking.
Oh, yeah. Those two terms are powerful. If you're not familiar with those, please do your due diligence.
Yeah, so packing is a large number of certain voters in a district, so their influence is contained. Right. Okay. And then the cracking is splitting a community apart across multiple districts so that the voter power is weakened. Right. So this is all part of gerrymandering. This is all the power that they have to weaken and dilute our communities so that they can place who they want to place in office. Exactly. And remove representation. Exactly. And it's so important that we have representation, but you know, listen, they playing chess.
Exactly.
They're playing chess.
Exactly. So, for example, District 7 is primarily African Americans make up District 7. So they can come in and slice and dice up District 7, and now District 7 doesn't have a voice at all. Yeah. And that's what gerrymandering is, and that's what they're doing.
Guess what? They don't have to split it up and splice it up for District 7 because District 7 has never had representation that looks like the majority of what's in that district. Yeah. Never. And, you know, we keep messing it up, too, because you keep having multiple candidates running for one situation, and then their vote is split, and then it goes over to the other candidate who is not a reflection of that district. Yeah. And look what it has gotten us to this point. This is what it has gotten us. Nothing. In the South Lumpkin side, the SoCo side, not a thing.
Not a thing.
And, you know, this is not me making things up. We've been out there in the communities. People have no idea who Kogel is. Right. They have no idea what she's done. African American people have no idea what she's done for small businesses. So she attaches herself to an association that was already formed. She makes herself known. She joins, she attends their meetings. What about the rest of your district? What about the rest of the people in your district? Right. All she can do is what's already been laid out for her. But she does not have the ability to get out into these communities and build these people up and know them and serve them. She doesn't have that ability.
Yeah, and if you got to ask how you can reach the black vote, that's a problem.
Right.
That is a problem because you should already be in these communities. You should already be networking and have relationships with not just your part of Columbus,
but
all parts of Columbus.
She afraid of African American people. And
Listen.
then if you got to ask an African American person,
Mm-hmm.
and that's telling by itself, and then that African American person is supporting her, I'm confused.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah, so we got work to do. We got work to do.
And Mr. Turner says we have to vote like our tomorrow depends on it, because it does.
It
That's
sure does. That's
absolutely
right.
true.
That's right. And we can't harp on that enough.
Yeah.
It does. So we can look back at history during slavery, because there's a pattern here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And for whatever reason,
we was 3/5 a person at
exactly.
a point.
Exactly.
And now they're just taking all of the representation.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to take us back to Jim Crow. They're trying to enslave us again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They would love that.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump is at the head of this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So again, this is a pattern. You know, they did this during slavery.
Mm-hmm.
They did this during Reconstruction, Jim Crow, during the Civil Rights Movement, and here we go again.
Right.
You know what I mean? And every time you call out racism or white supremacy,
Yeah.
they try to gaslight you or say that
You're racist.
You know, you're racist. DEI is racist. Affirmative action was racist. You're you're taking food off of somebody else's table. When we're fighting for equality, we're fighting for the basic rights that we were born with. You know what I mean? So there's no way that we can be racist. There's no way that they can say that we're taking food off of their table,
right,
or they're being discriminated against. There's no way.
And we are trying to survive in a nation that was not designed for us to survive or be in as human beings, period.
Exactly.
You know?
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts? But we're trying to level the playing field. So when a white candidate comes to ask for our vote, we got to look at them sideways because we don't know what they're going to do.
Right.
Based on history.
Trust. Yeah, we can't trust.
We have lost faith in the system, period, point blank. And it's not for no reason.
Right.
History has taught us that these people will come in and try to keep us suppressed and try to keep us, in the back of the bus, if you will.
Smile, and I love black people, and guess what? District 7 has not done a thing for black people. And what she has done is dress up like a bunny rabbit, buy them some candy for trunk or treat.
Yeah.
And that's enough for some people.
Well,
that's enough for some people for them to
they're
support
part of the
her
problem.
and to feel like she's an effective leader. You got to be kidding me.
They're part of the problem.
Mr. Wilson says this is going to force us to pull our economics, what we should have been doing in the first place. Mm-hmm. The youth is so out of the loop on what's going on. It's insane.
That's huge right there, yeah.
I was breaking down the situation to some of my workers today, trying to get them to vote, and they don't know nothing. They 22, 23, and know absolutely nothing about the government or even what's going on in the nation. Listen, because, honey, they are working on making a living, surviving.
Yeah.
And that's why it's important for people like you and their circle to educate and empower them the best way that you can, so they do know something and so that they do vote.
Exactly.
It's so important.
Yeah. So and that's what we got to do. We got to spread the word.
That's what your purpose is all about in their lives. You know this. It's been brought to your attention. Mm-hmm. It is your responsibility for that sphere of influence to handle it. You got to handle it.
Right.
Oh, Mr. Turner said we thought we were equal. When?
Yeah. That's the misconception.
When, sir,
that's the illusion. That's the illusion right there. And they just keep reminding us over and over that we're not equal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, what's understood doesn't have to be said.
That's right.
They don't have to tell us anymore that it's whites only. They don't have to tell us anymore that it's colored only.
That's right.
You know what I mean? They can just show us.
That's right.
By concentrating poverty in parts of District 7, and parts of District 3, and parts of District 1. You know what I mean? They can just show us these things. Actions speak louder than words.
And what's sad about it is that, we're all, at the end of the day, no matter if we live on the south side,
Yeah.
the east side, the west side, the north side, we're all African American people. We've taken different paths, right? I knew at 18 I had to go. That's how it was in my house. My mom was a single mom. She raised 2 girls. At 18, I knew I had to get out of the house and take care of myself. It wasn't, oh, you can go to college and you can stay here. And I'm like, it wasn't that. It was, you have to go. So in 11th grade, I signed up for the Army. Okay? Because I signed up for the Army, I was exposed to the world. I was exposed to different experiences. And once you expand your mindset and things of that nature, you know, you're different. You're different. But that doesn't make you stuck up. That don't make you snobbish. That don't make, you know, you anything like that. I'm still real to the core. And you can tell the difference between people who believe they're better than other people, behave as if they're better than other people, and those who have just worked hard and nothing was given to them, but they like a certain lifestyle and a certain thing. That doesn't make them bad people. And as African American people, we have to understand that and be able to discern the difference.
But again, that's what we're fighting for. We're fighting, and we've been fighting for equality. So when we throw up the black fist, it means something different for us than it does for white people.
I'm not sure why they're throwing it up, honey.
Well, they're throwing it up because of white supremacy. They want to perpetuate white supremacy. And not all white people are racist, but the system in place is racist. And those, the current president is racist. Those that he's putting in place are racist. You know what I mean? So again, when we throw up the fist, our fist is for equality, justice, and freedom. That's what our fist is for, black power. We're trying to level the playing field. You know what I mean? And history continuously shows us that we're not equal. It shows us that we're not on the same level playing field.
And I'm just saying, him throwing up this fist and them speaking on woke, it's like they're taking everything that's African American, that's black, and trying to dilute it and change it to something else.
It does not mean the same thing.
It's insane. Because when he was shot or whatever, you know, in the ear, this is what he did. And I'm like, what in the world?
That's why it's a fist for white power right there. That's white power he's throwing up. His fist is for white power. And it doesn't mean the same thing. But for me, it means to perpetuate white supremacy. You know what I mean? That's what he's throwing it up for.
But
we're fighting
stuff that belongs to us.
Well, but in trying to say it means something different. But you know what I mean? But anyway, so it's a different, we can't do what they do. We cannot. And that's why we hold leadership that looks like us. We hold their feet to the fire, because if you're going to represent us, we need the best of the best and the cream of the crop. You know, we cannot afford to get in there and somebody who's not informed, they don't have the knowledge, they're not prepared. We can't afford it.
You playing checkers and they're playing chess because they know and they can see that clearly you don't have a clue. We can't afford that. We cannot afford that. And that is why, again, Mr. Hughley is the best option for mayor. Listen, anybody else will get ran over in there and taken advantage of. Caldwell is bought. She is a puppet for the Republican Party. You can say she's not Republican. You can say she's not this. You can say she's nonpartisan. But when you have Republican strategists, when you have Republican money, honey, you're bought by a Republican. Every decision you make is for Republican people and not everybody else. Not the collective of Columbus. How you doing, Jessica?
Welcome to CANDID.
Okay, Mr. Wilson said if I really type my thoughts on this situation, you'd all
we need them, unfortunately. We need them.
I'm checking with you though. He said we have to ban you. Come on now, Mr. Wilson. Figure out how to communicate it in a way that we can still get it.
He's been doing it, but we understand though. We understand. But listen, we
wouldn't ban you though. We just want you to know that.
Well, listen, this is there's time out for being nice. There's time out for biting your tongue. It's time out for all of that. This is a serious situation, and we can't say that enough. It's a serious situation. This election, this local election, is critical to what's going to happen in Columbus moving forward in the next 4, 5, 10 years. You know what I mean? We're already dealing with the Voting Rights Act being gutted. We're already dealing with white supremacy being perpetuated. So we cannot afford to be nice. We cannot afford for leadership in Columbus to be in there and be uninformed, to be unprepared. We can't afford it.
And, you know, Jessica's on here, but this is one of the reasons why I support Jessica. Because Jessica was staying 10 toes down on that public agenda about her 14th Amendment rights, about her rights. And that's what we need, because what happens is that we get in there as African American people. They tell us we can't say names. They tell us we can't do this. They tell us it's because of the Roberts rules, which he lied, which the mayor lied to the young lady that was up there, told her it was Roberts rules and it was not the truth. And we submit and we yield and we're respectful and we're all of this foolery. So when somebody like Jessica gets up there, somebody like Paul Olson, Mr. Paul Olson gets up there and tells them about themselves, how you're breaking the rules and the Constitution and our rights. Listen, we need to support these people. We need to be right behind them, making sure, because they can speak to their folks.
Yeah.
And we can listen and follow suit and get the same rights that we deserve when we show up in these meetings and things of that nature. People don't need to look at her like she's crazy. People don't need to feel like, you know, she's doing too much. She's not doing too much. She's doing exactly what the rights as a citizen of the United States of America allows her to do.
That's right. That's right.
And we need to be just as powerful and just as voiceful and speak up as well, because, you know, they don't have this stuff. Like Mr. Paul Olson, it's not a resolution. It's not a law. It's not a policy. You're just shooting from the hip, making up stuff whenever you get good and ready. And when a citizen challenges you, then you want to have them put out.
Right.
Foolery.
Right.
Foolery.
Like he said, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're not following the law. They're not following the rules. They're just making it up as they go.
Making up stuff. And when you ask them, where is it at?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was said in this council meeting, or it was said, and that's not enough.
Yeah.
That's not good enough. It's not enough.
And like you said, that's why people need to hold the mayor, the current mayor, accountable.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He needs to be held accountable. He is the mouthpiece for the city. And like you said, he's supposed to set the tone.
Getting away with everything.
Yeah.
Getting away with everything. And they're blaming the black man for everything. But he is the mayor.
Exactly.
You got to be kidding me. We just can't even make this stuff up. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is the local water boys.
Yes. If you don't know who the water boys are, they are young men who are out here trying to make honest money, being entrepreneurs, selling you water, selling you Gatorade, selling you cold drinks on the side of the road. Whether it's Macon Road, whether it's Casita Road, but support these young men, because this gives them motivation, this keeps them going, and this keeps them out of the street and out of trouble.
Right, and it's an honest way. You know, it's not the best, but it's an honest way for these babies to work.
Well, they're not. Some of them are not old enough to work yet.
Earn money.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying. So you know, we're gonna donate some water to.
Yes.
We've seen babies on. How you say Caseta?
You and these babies. But
Casita Road. And, you know, when you see them, support them.
Yes.
Put some dollars in their hand.
Yeah.
And even if you don't take the water because they can sell it to someone else, support them. Now, you know, as an educator, I've had the experience and I've told you that some of these babies, they're going home. There's no parents there. Either they're working or, you know, or they're wherever. They leave them with maybe a SNAP card, and that's what one baby told me. It hurt me to my heart. He was like, well, at least she left me with the card. But guess what they're getting with these cards? What's some purple and blue things? Chips. Talkies, like, you know.
All of that's going down the drain. If you're paying attention, now you can't even buy that type of stuff. They're taking that away from the SNAP program. You can't even buy snacks.
Really?
You can only buy, I think, like burgers, you know, like food. You can no longer buy snacks. So they're taking all that away. Right.
So let's support where we can. When you see these babies standing on the street, don't just pass them by. And I will tell you, one of the worst things that I've ever seen is off of Victory Drive at the ATM. Somebody had babies standing right by the ATM for USAA asking for money. And it was during the time where I thought they should have been in school. So I was like, you know, where are your parents and this, that, and the third? And they just took off running. And because they knew likely that to me, the root of it is that it was dangerous. Complete strangers. You know, you're next to a teller. You know, people might act crazy or treat you any kind of way. So where were the parents? Why do we have our babies out here standing by ATMs? You need to stand with them, if anything, you know, so that they're safe or what have you, because I didn't see anybody. And so let's support our children when we see them, you know, trying and making an effort. You know, it's just like mowing a lawn. Let's support them. Yeah,
and, you know, there's some people who are critical of what they're doing, saying, you know what I mean, they should, you know, nobody should be, you know, committing crime. Or nobody should be, because, you know, we say, like, well, what they could be doing is X, Y, or Z.
Right.
But they choose to try to make an honest dollar. You know what I mean? So you got to support that.
Right.
Because of the pitfalls in these neighborhoods and the way systemic racism has caused incarceration disparities.
Right.
You know what I mean? So people they're not understanding that. And that's why we need leadership who can empathize and that has understanding.
That part.
Because if we don't have that in our communities, we're going to continue this prison to pipe, you know, education, prison to pipeline to prison. Is that how it goes? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so until we fix that and put people in leadership in marginalized communities who can understand, who can relate and empathize.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because when you are in your late 30s or you know, you're of a certain age and I want you to help me learn, excuse me?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Because if you're running for any form of leadership, then you need to do your work. You need to educate yourself.
And that's all we're saying.
Especially if you're running for a district that's predominantly African American, you need to do your work. You need to understand the challenges and the pressures and the history. And if you don't know that, and if you don't have the wherewithal to do it yourself, and you're telling folks they need to help you, then that's a red flag for me. That's a red flag. Because even anybody preparing for a job, they're going to study the mission and the vision of that place. They're going to learn what exactly skills, what they provide to the community. Right. Weaknesses, strengths, things of that nature. You're not going to show up to there and tell me, I need you to help me to do my job.
Exactly.
You're going to show up prepared.
Exactly.
And that's the kind of laziness we're getting from people. Help me. That just tells me that you have not been immersed in our community until it's election season and time.
Right, right. Which is unfortunate, but that's why we have the platform we have, because we're going to hold people accountable. You know what I mean? We're going to hold their feet to the fire. Yeah, we're going to hold their feet to the fire because, again, you have to do your work. You know what I mean? Nobody should just be voting for somebody just because they look like you. Nobody should be voting for you just because they know you. We should be voting for people because they're the most qualified. Now, I said that, all of that to say, if we do vote for someone who looks like us, and that's the only reason we're voting, can you blame an African American or a black person? Because of the systemic racism that has plagued this country. Because if we get somebody white in office, we don't know if they're going to perpetuate white supremacy or not.
Right.
So we're going to try to go with the black person to at least try to, like Major Turner said, level the playing field and make it equal. And that's all we're trying to say, and we can't say it enough.
I don't care what you say. I don't care how you say it. You know, there ain't gonna be no backroom deals. There ain't gonna be no this. We don't trust you. We don't believe you. So.
And that's, I mean, there's no way around that. We're fighting for equality. We're trying to level the playing field. So when people keep trying to say DEI is racist and they keep trying to say affirmative action is racist, if we don't have little things in place like that, we won't ever get in these positions.
And guess what? They good. They're running to represent us, but they are good. They're good.
Prime example, when LeBron James got his son put on the team, people, you know, all hell broke loose. And people was upset and mad. But this has been a pattern in white America since the beginning of time with nepotism and putting people in positions in places that they have not earned.
It's only when we do it that it's a problem.
It's a problem. Yeah, shout out to LeBron James and Bronny Jr., you know what I mean?
Why not?
Listen, this has been done throughout history, and it's continuing to be done, and that's the same thing that's happening with Joanne Cogle, who is not qualified to be mayor and run the city. She's not.
Not at all.
And if she is, show us on her resume where she's qualified and the work that she's done that will let us know that she's prepared and qualified to be mayor of Columbus. Show us. Show us, because we haven't seen it. We don't see it.
And I know people that got good sense haven't seen it. So, you know, why are you supporting her? Like, what are you getting out of it? What deal has she made you? Because I know they'll do it. I heard Skip in the churches. Did we give them their donation? I heard it with my own ears. And so money is not enough to sell our community out. There's not enough donation in the world for you to sell our community out. You know, and, you know, for people who want to call folks crooks and things of that nature with no facts, right? But you want to support somebody who has receipts, who is a documented racist, who is a documented pedophile and a 34-count convicted felon, a racist. You want to support that? You want to support people who support that?
Exactly.
That is self-hate.
Exactly.
It's self-hate. It's low self-esteem and self-worth.
Yeah. But if you're watching this, please right now, share this with your friends, share this with your family, share this with your loved ones, because of course, this conversation needs to be had not only just here, but in different homes, because again, we can't say enough about how critical this election is. Not only that, but just across the board, period. We, African American people, black people, are just tired of being sick and tired.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And all we're fighting for is basic rights.
Basic stuff.
God-given rights. You know, you can't legislate rights, but the Constitution is in place so that they can suppress people and so they can discriminate against people and say who's relevant and who's not.
Right.
Who's valued and who's not.
That's right.
And that's how the Declaration of Independence came about. It wasn't our forefathers didn't do this. They're not our forefathers.
Nope.
You know, so the Constitution needs to be, I'm not even going to say it needs to be amended. It needs to be burnt down and it needs to be rebuilt, period.
Try again.
We need a whole new Constitution in place. And I know some people might say, well, that might create instability. Initially, it might. But the only way to level the playing field is to have a whole new Constitution that reflects what this country truly believes and looks like right now.
Right. And that I agree. Because it was not designed with us in mind.
Not at all. 3/5 of a person?
Yeah.
3/5 of a person?
And
listen, the
that's a
13th,
law.
14th, and the 15th Amendment are gone. It's gone.
And that was a law.
It's totally gone.
And that was legal. Right? That was legal. They get to make up their own rules, make up their own laws, adjust them and change them whenever they get good and ready. And we have to adjust.
Right.
We have to adjust and we have to survive.
Exactly. But I tell you what, we're not going to take this sitting down or laying down. So we understand we got work to do, but I tell you what, they're creating the environment to be explosive. You know what I mean? And you can't blame us when it explodes because they're creating the environment for an explosion to happen.
That's right.
So we're
and
not.
We see it in Tennessee. These young folks are
they're not playing
with it, right?
They're not playing.
They are not playing.
People are upset, and rightfully so. You know, this is, you know, it's unfair, and we're just tired. Like, we're just tired, but we're not gonna listen. We're not going away, like the young man said. We're gonna be here. We're still here. Resilience is built into our DNA.
And I'm laughing because, you know, I'm about poise and posture and no profanity, right? I'm about that life. But listen here, when these people been given it, I'm here for it. Yeah. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it how you deserve to get it. And the young man in Tennessee, he let them have it. You know, and
rightfully so.
Right. And as a woman, I shared today about over 300,000 African American women losing their jobs. Yeah. She just let them have it. We are tired. We are freaking tired. And what more so I'm tired about is people that look like us enabling and upholding this bull crap. Yes. Like, are you delusional? I mean, if the person ain't done nothing yet, that demonstrates that they care about our community. What are we waiting for? Right. It's a personal game. Right. It's a personal, you know,
that's what
what's in it for me.
That's what tokenism is.
What's in it for me? What am I going to get out of it? Because I definitely don't care about my community. Right. Right. Mr. Turner says we have to be purposeful and unapologetic. Remember, they are still fearful of us. Yes, sir. Yeah, and that's why they fighting so hard. On the books, 3/5. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and that's why they fight so hard to uphold and perpetuate white supremacy.
Yeah.
because they can't just fathom if we get in power, or if we, you know what I mean? They just can't fathom that. And again, we just want freedom. We just want justice and equality. That's what we want.
Right.
You know, we want to be able to live in this country without having to worry about being discriminated against.
Right.
You know, there was a man, I think his name is Timothy Brown, in New York. This happened last month. This man was beat mercilessly, just like Rodney King, by 2 police officers, New York police officers. They just beat this man almost to death, and he was the wrong suspect. He was not even the right person they were after. You know what I mean? This is what we're dealing with in 2026. Still.
2026, yes.
Still.
Corey Wilson says the Sambos are the worst type of person on the planet. Yes, sir. And listen here, I'm glad you are an educated African-American man because people call them Uncle Tom, but Uncle Tom is not appropriate. It's not the correct term. Sambos is. Very, very, very impressed with that. Mr. Turner says we have to start calling our bad apples out. Absolutely.
Yes, right.
And
that's what we're doing on our platform. We call them out.
We say names. You know, people will get on their podcast and they'll talk all around and beat around the bush. We're going to say the names.
Mr. Terrence Flowers,
we're going to just
if you're
say
watching,
what it is, right?
Yeah, this is ridiculous. We have our own people helping the opposition or helping white supremacists keep our people enslaved, or keep our people,
suppressed. And I don't understand. Like, is the pay that good?
It's not even.
Is the pay that good? And
it's frustrating.
Is it worth it?
It's frustrating.
Is it worth it? That's all I want to know.
It's frustrating.
The boule here has. What is this? What is that? The boule here has to take the hands off the necks of black folk in Columbus, Georgia. Mr. Turner says, make them ashamed to show their face in public, take their voice away. That's right. I have to give y'all my background, Mr. Wilson. Okay. And what he got skinny on here? What's that about? And yeah, let's talk about the people who continue to support Jason Patterson.
Oh, man.
How he is walking around with anybody but Hughley shirts on, disrespecting churches, right? They tell me that he had on his anybody but Hughley shirt in the church.
Yeah.
Then when he won a prize, black people are so nice. He won a prize. He put a big shirt over the anybody. What you putting the shirt? What you covering it up for?
Yeah.
What are you covering it up for?
Yeah.
And he's walking around cursing, being disrespectful, and black people are still patty caking, talking with him and all kinds of things like that. If he is disrespectful to that man, he is disrespectful to us all. And that's how I feel about it. It's like a mama bear thing. You don't mess with my kids. You don't talk about my mama. You don't talk about my husband.
Yeah.
We need to have that support for one another. Nobody should feel comfortable coming in our communities talking bad about our people and thinking they're going to get away with it.
Right.
It's like we can get a hold to them, but don't you dare think that you can get a hold to them in our presence.
Right.
It is disgusting.
Right. Right.
I learned a little about Patterson. You're right. Oh, Jessica. How you doing, Jessica?
Yeah.
Yes. Right? So he's supporting LaJoy. He is a Republican. He's a racist man, in my opinion, playing black folks like a game. Oh, let me smile with this one. Let me, take a picture with this one. If you hate this man so much, you hate the rest of us. And that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and we can say the same thing about Mark LaJoy.
Yeah.
Who is a MAGA supporter.
Yeah.
But wants to be your mayor. He's a racist.
Right.
He's a racist.
Right.
If you keep talking about public safety and locking people up, who makes up the majority of the jails? We know it's African American men.
That's right.
So he keeps talking about locking up African American men.
Cleaning it up, yeah.
And yeah, so again, this guy is all about MAGA.
We're unsafe. Like, this place is, he wants to invoke fear, And again, the majority of the African American people are the ones that's in jail and gangs and things in this city. So when he's saying those things, he's talking about us.
Right.
locking us up and throwing away the darn key.
What he said, and I quote, he said, the south side of District 7 is a cesspool. Those are his words.
Yeah.
Those are words he's used.
That part.
And these are the people who are trying to be your elected officials in
That
Columbus.
part. You better listen
and
pay attention.
Yeah, they can scream nonpartisan all day. They can scream it all day. Now, they're going to show you who they are. You know what I mean? So at least Trump lets you know that he's a racist.
Yeah.
He's an open bigot.
Right.
But you got those closet racists who try to make you believe one thing, but behind closed doors are going to Klan meetings and MAGA rallies and all kind of stuff.
That part.
Those who showed up for January 6th, you know what I mean, with masks on to hide their faces.
Right.
Those are the ones you need to be worried about.
And the bottom line is that when you support someone like Trump, policies, rules, laws, and things
ideologies
that hurt our people, there is no way you care about African American people.
Right.
Now, what part of that do not people understand?
Right. Steve Kelly.
What part of that don't you understand? Everything this man has done, over 300,000 women fired for DEI. But you walking around with black women in this community taking freaking pictures?
Right.
Ladies, what is the problem? Why are we having conversation? Why are we even entertaining anybody like Jason Patterson? I am confused.
Or Steve Kelly.
Or
Mark LaJoy.
Right. So he just, let me go back. Let's see. Yesterday, last week is, I think, gone. This is a new day. Stand up. And then Jessica says, I apologize for my ignorance. Was just trying to figure this place out and see who is friendly and for real and who is fake. Right. You got to do your due diligence, honey.
Yeah.
I will never give that man my breath. He keep trying to shuck up to me. Now I'll never befriend the other one. Once you show me who you are. That's the truth. That's the truth. And he just want to lock black folks up. That's right. That's all he
cares about.
Right. He want to create a gang task force, probably one like ICE. Yes. And the yes man, sit down. Yes. Right. And so, we got to see things for what they are.
Exactly.
We can't, just make up this illusion in my mind because basically based on what they're telling us, we have to see things for what they are.
Right.
And if you support Trump, if you voted for Trump, if you support his ideologies and his rules and things of that nature, you are against black people.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, there's no way around it.
We don't have nothing to talk about.
There's no way around it.
We don't have anything to talk about.
And we have been, if you want to make it like a friendship type of relationship, black people, we have been the best friend you could ever have.
Yeah.
But they keep showing us that we're not valued. They keep showing us that they don't care.
Right.
You know what I mean? Black people built this country. The wealth gap in this country is huge. And it's huge because black people built this country and weren't paid for their work and for their contribution. And then you would have somebody come along and say, we don't deserve reparations. You gotta be kidding me.
Free labor for over 400 years.
You gotta be kidding me. We don't deserve reparations? I mean, you are delusional if you think that we don't deserve reparations.
And it's like the pastor said, at this point, we don't want you to give us anything.
Right.
But we do not want you to get out of our way and allow us to be. And what we mean by that is Tulsa, Oklahoma. What would they call it?
Black Wall Street.
Black Wall Street. You saw African American people doing well for themselves, creating their own community. And what did you do? You burned it down.
Exactly.
You burned it down. Anything that we try to do for ourselves, you steal, you burn, you kill. So that's what we're saying. Get out of our way.
Exactly.
Allow us the freedoms and the rights that we are obligated to have, and let us do what we need to do in this country. They are working so hard to take the basic rights from us.
Yeah. Yeah. And people who look like us are helping them. Terrence Flowers, Byron Hickey,
helping them.
Toya Tucker,
yes,
so forth and so on. They are helping these people keep us oppressed.
Yes.
And it's sad.
For what?
And it makes us angry.
I don't know what they gave you. I don't know what they told you. But is it worth it? Is it worth it? I can't believe that it is.
It's not. They don't have to tell us. It's not. Because in the long run, all they're going to do is use you, abuse you, and get rid of you.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Right.
And if you look back down through history, that's what they usually do.
Nothing new under the sun. Malcolm X has shared the same sentiments. Martin Luther King Jr. has shared the same sentiments.
Right.
Nothing new under the sun.
Nothing new.
It's just recreated, same script, different cast.
Exactly.
And we are sick and tired of it. Like, it's a shame. It's a shame the amount of African American people who are going to bat, trying to support, oh, let's love everybody. We already love everybody.
Right.
If we did not, this country will be torn up.
Exactly.
We already love. We already have, extended grace upon grace upon grace.
Right.
What else can we give besides using our voice and saying, set some boundaries? We're not going to continue to put up with the foolishness.
Right. Right. And we're not facing the same things that our ancestors faced.
Yeah.
We're not being lynched to the degree that they were lynched.
Physically,
we're not being bitten by dogs. We're not being
Physically.
sprayed by water hoses. We're not being denied, some rights. Yeah, they are taking or have taken our voting rights away and have just totally dismantled the 13th, the 14th, and the 15th amendments. And it's only getting worse.
Right.
You know what I mean? But again, what's our excuse as black people these days for not showing up and showing out and speaking truth to power?
And instead of you speaking up about the injustices that's going on in this country right now, our voting rights being taken away,
Right.
30,000 women, African American women, jobs being terminated. You're attacking an African American man trying to be the mayor in this city because you want to give the American dream to your white colleague, friend, what have you. That is just ridiculous.
Right. And we just want equal rights.
And he don't even care
Period.
about homeless people. And some of them homeless people look like him. He don't
Right.
even care.
Right. And you're talking about,
Brino.
yeah, Chris Briall. Yeah. So, yeah, we got to do better. We got to do better.
How you doing, Miss Mac? Miss Classy Lady, how you doing, beautiful?
Welcome to CANDID.
Yeah, so, it's just really time out for the foolishness, being docile, because listen, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, it's all around us.
Yeah.
They are
Texas.
being stripped of representation, and we're next.
Yeah, they're coming for Georgia. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. They have halted elections just so they can chop up these districts and do what they need to do. And like you said, they put like 2 to 3 people per state or per city.
Texas, Louisiana, all these different states without a vote. It's an automatic. They got GOP seats, automatic.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to tell you, he said integrity is lost upon a lot of us. That's the truth. We both have military training now, depending on what you went in, your basic and your AIT is different, right?
Yeah.
But you are trained to win, to be mentally and physically tough. Where is that in the men in our communities? Mentally and physically tough. Where did we become so sassy where we are just out here, we need to love everybody, and wow, 30,000 women's jobs have been terminated. Wow, we got a racist president calling an African American woman a bitch on national television.
Right.
Where are you? Why are you not speaking up
Right.
and protecting the people who support you? But you're too busy taking these people in churches and communities for what?
Right.
Start the ministry and taking care of your own.
Your own house, your own front door. Sweep around your own front door.
They
first.
are good. They are well taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah. So they don't need our help. We need to help our own folks first. And that's why our community, in a sense, looks the way it looks. We're not spending our own dollars in our own community.
Nope.
We're enriching other people.
Nope.
And wonder why our community looks the way it looks. So
Yeah.
until we take care of home first, this is what's going to keep happening.
Right. And, again, these women out here, I seen y'all out here hugged up, talking with Jason Patterson for what? For what?
Yeah, it's sad and it's unfortunate.
Talking to LaJoy for what? I mean, how do you just totally not, in your mind understand he voted for Trump. He supports Trump.
Period, point blank.
He is, Jason Patterson is nasty in the comments towards people and women. He calls them names. He has said all kinds of things. How? You know, God didn't raise us to be fools. So if you're using religion to say you need to love everybody and 70 times 7, he didn't raise us to be fools, though. There's a time for everything. There's a season for everything. We got to set some boundaries.
Right.
And then Mr. Turner says lynching is the premeditated, extrajudicial killing of an individual by a group or mob acting without legal authority to punish an alleged transgressor. It is a violent, often public act used to terrorize communities, frequently involving torture or hanging, and historically serving as a tool for enforcing racial subordination, particularly against Black people in the U.S. South. Ms. Mack says exactly that part. Killing of minorities today, lynching 3.0, same. Yes, sir,
Yeah.
Mr. Turner?
Yeah.
And she says, yes, we definitely need to take care of home first. Trust me, they're going to take care of their community. That's right. We need to wake up. We're not supposed to be fools. That is the truth.
And it's evident with the gunning of the Voting Rights Act. It's evident with that. They're going to perpetuate white supremacy. And they're going to, at every turn, they're going to make sure they put us in our place.
That part.
You know what I mean? So until we come together and take care of our own community, show up in force consistently to let them know that we're not going to keep standing for this.
Right.
Period, point blank.
Right. Have some respect. Set some boundaries. Because, again, when they talk about one, they're talking about us all.
Yeah.
And, you got to qualify that because some of us have sold out. Just to be blank. Some of us have sold out. They are no longer among us, right? They are for themselves, and we got to see it for what it is and draw the line. We got to be serious. Yeah,
we got to close ranks to these people, period. Because they are a part of the problem, and they're muddying the waters and causing confusion, and it's unfortunate.
Right. Mr. Wilson says, as if white privilege ain't enough for them to win, to see a Black person help white people do anything makes my head spin. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But see, that's where the selfishness comes in. That's where it's personal gain and self-preservation.
Right. They're
not worried about our community. And that's what we need to understand. When we see people who will willingly and publicly support these people in church, wherever they taking them, they don't care about our community. They care about their personal ambition.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly.
And if y'all have seen Alton Russell on the page this week making comments, I don't have anything to say to that man. You suppressed over 4,000 votes in this city. We don't have anything to talk about.
Not a thing.
We don't have anything to talk about.
He tried to say that he doesn't understand the process.
Oh, you understand, sir.
I mean, you talk to fools that way. Right, Major Turner? That's how you talk to fools. Like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
you understand exactly what you were doing.
Exactly.
You understood the mission, sir, and you accomplished it. Period.
Exactly.
Period.
Exactly. So that's the like you said, they're playing chess. They're playing chess. They're thinking 3, 4, 5, 10 years ahead of time. You know what I mean? So we gotta do the same thing.
Right.
We gotta organize, mobilize, and make it happen. Otherwise, they're gonna keep doing what they're doing.
And these folks that's getting on social media talking about some love and telling people not to do this and not to do that, have several seats because it's not helping the situation. You see young men in Tennessee, you see people like Corey right here. We are speaking truth to power.
Right.
We are speaking up because there are, things that are going wrong in our city. And if we didn't need to speak up, we wouldn't have to speak up. Okay? This love everybody, there's a thin line.
Yeah.
Between love and hate. And guess what? We are the loving people. Because only people that hate others will try to make them inferior and then take all of their rights away.
Right. Basic
rights, job, living wages, all of these things.
Yeah.
We are being attacked.
Yep, mass incarceration. The list goes on. The mortality rate for Black women is huge.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why healthcare is so important. Because certain things that affect certain things that affect our women are not affecting other women.
Yep, you don't care about that. You don't care about that.
Let's talk about education.
Let white people get in your comments using Mr. John, the good trouble man, John Lewis, Mr. Congressman, the late Congressman John Lewis, using something about some darn love. Lady, you don't know anything about love. That man was beaten over 40 times, jailed for our people to have basic rights. You have no right to use his quotes. None. That's not been your life experience. You don't know what you're talking about. And so when an African American person don't check you and put you in your place, I have a problem with that. You co-signing and you and agreeing and you letting them sit on your page and say whatever they want to say, then they need to have several seats.
Exactly. And we're not making it about black and white, but it is about black and white.
It is.
And we're trying to level the playing field, and we just want equality.
That's
you know what I mean? We want our basic rights, but then those who are racist, they keep making it about race.
Right.
They keep making this perpetuating white supremacy and telling us that we're inferior. And telling us that we're less than.
Right.
We're 3/5 of a person.
Right.
They're the ones who are perpetuating this.
Right.
Not us. We didn't ask to come to this country.
We're just trying to live.
We didn't ask to come to this country. So when somebody says, oh, they don't deserve reparations, you are disillusioned.
Mr. Turner says Alton is no fool either. He was elected to be their best representative for this country. Never play him short. He laughs in our faces. Note, they brought him back to the light of day. Yes. And she says it's always been about black and white. Yes, ma'am. Colored and white. No blacks allowed. It has always been about color in this country. So to sit here and to suggest that we're just delusional, no. It has always been racist, coloreds, whites. That is the foundation of this freaking country. So to sit here and talk, why do you always got to bring up race?
Right, play the race card.
Get mad because we use adjectives, but we learn from the best.
Exactly.
Get mad.
Yeah, we can't say it enough. This election is critical. What's going on in this nation is critical. It's critical.
And we cannot afford to give anything away to anybody.
Not at all.
We cannot afford to give anything away to anybody. And I'm going to say that again. We cannot afford to give anything away to anybody. Wake up, folks. We earned everything. We have to fight tooth and nail for everything that we have. Why do we think it's okay to just give it and hand it over to somebody else?
Right.
So.
Right. And until we understand that, we're going to keep losing. It's a dirty game that's being played. It is sad.
It's very sad.
It is sad.
And we think we're doing good and we're being good black people. But where has that gotten us?
It's gotten us to where we are, which is the Voting Rights Act has been gutted. That's where it's gotten us. That is where it's gotten us.
And the audacity, again, of somebody like Jason Patterson to think that he can walk in our midst with anybody but Isaiah Hughley's shirt on and feel comfortable. Where do they do that at?
Right.
I'm so confused. Because the last I checked, he's supporting a pedophile and a rapist and a 34-count convicted felon. And we would rather give him grace and let him be who he wants to be in our presence. But we won't defend somebody that don't even have a record near close to that.
Right.
And for all the people out there that say, oh, well, you don't know and you don't know and you don't know. Well, then lay the receipts out there then. If you bold enough to say what we don't know, lay the receipts out. But even in that, I don't even think it's anything close to.
Not at all.
What we got in the White House.
Not at all.
And what white America has done.
Throughout history. And still doing currently.
To our people. Yeah. Burning, lynching, killing, and all the above.
Exactly.
There's nothing that would make me sell out on my people.
Not at all.
Not a thing.
Not ever. Pillaging, you know what I mean? Like you said, they burnt down Black Wall Street. Yeah. We know the story in the history of what happened in Rosewood. We know that they bombed a church in Birmingham and killed 4 little girls.
Babies, yes.
So that's what they're capable of.
Yes. We know that the young man who is in South Carolina, he killed people in the church. They took him to freaking Burger King before they took him to jail.
Right.
We don't get that kind of luxury.
Not at all. Not at all.
And we probably wouldn't have even made it out of there.
Not at all.
So it's time out. Like, memory and trying to forget things is not serving us well.
Not at all. Not at all. So, that's why we use our platform to do what we do, which is speak truth to power, to make sure people are well informed about what's going on out here, not only locally, but in this country. You know what I mean? Because these people are, they're playing a dirty game. They're playing a dirty game. And it's sad, like you said, we have our own people helping them keep us oppressed.
You're not going to feel comfortable in my presence. You will not feel comfortable in my presence disrespecting anybody. Right. It's a family thing. We may have to do some intercultural, information and talk and things of that nature. Yeah. But you don't get to do it. Mm-hmm. And you won't feel comfortable in my presence or our presence showing up thinking you're going to talk bad about anybody. Mm-hmm. And that's how it should be. But we have allowed people to feel comfortable to talk about our people, to disrespect our people publicly. We're not disrespecting them. We're not in their comments calling them names, or he might get it every now and then because of the fact of the things that he says. Yeah. But we're not just front loading him with disrespect.
Yeah, we're not the ones initiating anything. We're reacting to the foolery. We're reacting to what's happening to us.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when we lash out, when we protest, we're reacting to what's being done to us, and that's been the history of this country.
Right. Now, Mr. Turner says we seriously have to organize and educate our community. Here, real soon, they're going to start looking for leaders. People, get ready. Time to awaken your truth. And then, let's see. She said, I hate something about the Black Wall Street. And they're so comfortable disrespecting us because we allow it. Some of y'all allow it.
Yeah,
some of y'all allow it. Some of y'all allow it.
Fact. And that's how.
And we do give them grace.
Well, and that's what's gotten us into this situation. Suffer peacefully. Pray for those who despitefully use you.
Turn
you know what I mean?
The cheek.
And now here we are again. Mm-hmm. 2026 is starting to look a lot like 1966,
right,
or 1964,
right,
or 1963.
Right.
You know what I mean? There were people that looked like us, black people, during the Montgomery bus boycott who didn't want Rosa Parks. You know what I mean? To boycott. They didn't want to boycott these buses.
Right.
And that's what we got going on today.
They didn't want Ruby. What was her name? Bridges, to go to the school, to integrate the school. Right. But had she not integrated the school, look at what that little girl had to go through.
Yes.
Look at all the things that they said. White people, mm-hmm. the words that they said to a child.
Right.
That is what we're dealing with.
And we're talking about racist white people. We're not painting all white people as evil. We're talking about those who are perpetuating white supremacy. Mm-hmm. Those people are evil. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So let's not get it confused.
Right.
We're talking about those who are racist. If it fits, wear it.
If it don't fit, then, it don't apply to you.
Right. So that's what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. It's a system in place, and there are those locally and those who are, like Donald Trump, who are trying to perpetuate this system. Mm-hmm. So, and we're going to call them out every time. We're going to call them out every time. Mark LaJoy, a MAGA supporter. Yeah. Steve Kelly, a MAGA supporter. Mm-hmm. Alton Russell, a MAGA supporter. Yeah. And the list goes on.
And who are they always targeting? The African American man. They have blamed everything that has went wrong in this city on him, as opposed to the freaking mayor, as opposed to the city council that is stacked with Republicans.
Majority white.
Who's made the votes to contribute to what we have going on in this city. Right. Period. And then, Crab has the audacity to be like, don't be bamboozled about this finance situation. Mm-hmm. Well, guess what, lady? You all voted for a $649,000 consultant to come in and tell us that 35 years of excellence, clear record, no issues. Mm-hmm. And then y'all don't say nothing in this meeting while they're saying this, right? They don't say anything. They don't question the consultant or anything. It's Miss Goodwin who says, let me hear that again. 35 years, no issues. And the man said yes. And they're the top 100, whatever it is, in all of the 700 businesses that they actually, consult for. They didn't say a word, but then they get on social media to people that are not attending this city council meetings, that's not watching these meetings, and say, oh, don't be bamboozled. Or, try to nitpick and say, well, they don't look at everything. Well, what are you paying them for?
Right.
Where are you giving them our tax dollars to tell us one thing, and then you turn around and tell us another? They need to go. They need to go. Because they're causing confusion.
Period. Point.
On purpose.
Yeah, but real quick, shout out to the Historic Friends of Claflin, Reverend Jesse.
Okay.
And he's doing great things in the community.
Yes.
We appreciate you, sir. Salute.
Yes.
Shout out to Dr. Hood and Project Rebound Inc., who does great things in the community. He's been a pillar. We appreciate you, sir. Salute.
Yes.
And we can't say enough about those who have been in the trenches.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to affect change and level the playing field for Black people and African American people in this city.
Now, I love how Reverend Reese Jesse. I don't know why I get those two names, mixed up, but I love how he gave us the receipts, honey.
Yeah.
He gave us that CD, and you see the young Reverend Jesse on there with his bullhorn, leading the people to speak up, to speak out about the injustices in our community. And he has been consistent.
Yeah.
He has been consistent in the trenches for our communities. We have to salute our generals and honor our generals in our community who have been standing up for us before we even knew. I mean, I don't know before then, standing up for us. But I want to hit on some couple of things that he's trying to accomplish with the Friends of the Historic Claflin Initiative.
Okay.
He wants to activate PTOs and PTAs in all the schools.
Which is needed.
Right. So if you're a teacher out there, if you can help in this way, the next meeting is on Saturday at 11 at Spencer High School.
Yes.
He wants to also make sure that all children have food after school and on the weekends.
Yes.
Okay? Additionally, he wants to enhance preschool education and try to prevent this prison to pipeline system that we have in place. And finally, he want to encourage employers, to provide livable wages for our community. So those are all great initiatives. Yes. Next meeting is Saturday at 11 at Spencer. If you are available, please make sure you show up so that we can support this initiative. He's not new. He is true to this. Yeah. He has been working a long time in the trenches, and he's older. He's older, and he needs our help. Come on, folks.
And he's ready to pass the torch.
Yeah.
He's ready to pass the torch. And like you said, he can't do it the way he used to do it anymore.
Come on.
You know what I mean? And that's why, we got to bridge the gap from the elders to the younger generation and so forth and so on. So if you can make it Saturday, please show up. We're going to go canvassing. We're going to go from door knocking, asking people, if they want to do better, if they need help, and offer them options and resources.
Right. And I do know that the Sherry Aaron's campaign is doing something this coming week. I'll find the flyer and put it up as well, where they're going to activate the youth and get them to the polls. All these babies that are 18, getting ready to graduate, they need a busload of them. Take them to the polls, educate them, make sure they understand how to vote, who to vote for, and take them to the polls. If you can show up and support this event, make sure you show up and support this event.
Yes.
I've not ever had an issue listening to wisdom and learning from our elders. We got to learn and we got to listen, but you know what? That goes both ways. Yeah. You have to listen to us as well. You have to support us as well. You can't be it's my way or the highway. You can't be this is how we've always done it and that's how we're going to do it. You got to have a growth mindset. You got to have a growth mindset, and we have ran into a lot of people who have fixed mindsets, especially in that elections board. Meeting.
Yes, and we can't grow that way. We can't move forward, especially Columbus. We can't move Columbus forward unless you have forward-thinking people. Yeah. And the only way you do that, you have to have a diverse, community of people sharing ideas and talking about the issues
Right.
Young and old and in the middle.
Right.
It takes everybody.
And you got to be comfortable with a growth mindset. We can't be stuck in our ways and think that we're going to grow and get to where we need to get. We can't be like that. Right. Mr. Wilson says RWS is so systematic and methodical. Then people have no moral or values, the leader of the free world, and be openly racist, a bigot, a pedophile, and have other grown white men and black men support this man shows me we don't have a lot of real men anymore. Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah, and that's why we have this rallying cry to bring men to the forefront.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People got to step up.
Yeah.
We got to step up. We are the protector of our communities.
That part.
You know what I mean? We got to step up and make sure that we're doing our part to bring about change in Columbus and in our community.
Right. And I would just say, African American women, we have always been the voice. Mm-hmm. We have always not been afraid to speak up and say what needs to be said. Mm-hmm. And we have always had the support of strong African American men. Mm-hmm. And today I am concerned.
And it is a concern.
I am concerned. It was invigorating to see that young man in Tennessee on social media, giving it to him. Yeah. It was invigorating. But what is going on here in Columbus? What do I see? People, we gotta love everybody. We can't be so divisive and we can't be so toxic. And we say, well, guess what? You call it what you want to call it, but we gotta fight for what's right for our people. Period.
Exactly.
We gotta speak up and we gotta have a voice. Period. We cannot be doormats. Mm-hmm. Look at what's going on. You need to adjust the view or the vision of whatever perspective you got going on and understand that you continue in that pathway, we're not going to have any rights here in a moment.
Exactly.
Because you're too busy trying to be lovey-dovey and friends with people who don't feel the same way.
Right.
Selling you a freaking dream.
And continuing to try to use churches and use, civic leaders and whoever else they can use to further their agenda.
Talking a good game.
Get them in office, donate to your organization, giving out, baskets here and making you feel good. Right. And then get elected and then start doing stuff like, gutting the civil rights, the Voting Rights Act.
Right. Not returning phone calls, text messages, not doing anything in the communities. Nothing. And
consistently voting a certain way that affects negatively affects African American people in our city.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's why we gotta
that don't reflect us whatsoever.
Yeah.
So. All right, that next thing is the Democratic Party. They hosted the Black Men's Roundtable. Yeah. How was that experience for you?
Listen, it was amazing. It was amazing. Shout out to everybody who attended. Shout out to everybody who was on the panel. Mm-hmm. And shout out to Mr. Jason Estevez, who's running for governor of Georgia. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. It was amazing. And that's what needs to continue to happen. We need to keep having these discussions and forums.
Right.
You know what I mean? And talk about real issues that are facing Black men, the Black community.
If you were there, please put in the comments. What were your thoughts?
Yeah.
How did you feel about the experience?
Yeah. What did they do well? What would you have loved to have seen done? But yeah, I feel like it was a great opportunity.
Now I tried to switch places with Corey because it was a men's forum. He didn't want to sit in the front seat. Come on, Mr. Corey Wilson. I need you to sit in the front seat because the forum was for you all. I was appreciative that they allowed us to come. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't have my video live situation going on because, our men in our community, like they are our backbone. They are the strength of our communities. And so these conversations, I don't take it lightly. I don't know how often they're going on in our communities. But at the same time, women, we can get on, we can talk about any and everything or what have you. But men are not different. And I think that men are not the same. And it was expressed throughout this the meeting.
Yeah. There's a lot of issues. We talked about mental health. We talked about the lack of mentorship for young men. Right. We talked about the value gap. Right. What white America values white men over Black men. Right. We talked about education
Entrepreneurship.
disparities. Yeah, we talked about entrepreneurship, and we talked about what the solutions are moving forward.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was a great opportunity to come and have a meeting of the minds, you will. But like I said, we got to keep it going, and that's what we're working on now, to keep it going, keep having these conversations so that we can provide solutions and make our community better.
Right, and so shout out to the Democratic chair, Ms. Royal Anderson.
Yes, yes.
Listen, their office is beautiful. It was a great experience. She is operating in excellence and doing great things for the Democratic Party. Thank you so much. And then shout out to Mr. McBride, Minister McBride.
Yes.
He was the moderator for this event. Always shows up in excellence.
Yes.
Love his style and how he makes sure,
Salute to you, sir.
yes, everybody gets in, their opportunity to speak.
Yeah.
And great topics. So real quick before we move on, could you tell us a little bit about the people that were on the panel?
Yeah, so there was Marquise Skinny Averett, who's running for District 140 right now.
All right.
He had great insight, and we also had Dr. Marsh, who was on the panel. He had really, really good insight. And then we had, of course, Jason Estevez, who's running for governor currently. Wealth of knowledge. He's homegrown, born and raised in Columbus, in Atlanta, doing great things. So yeah, we were happy for him to be there and to have this conversation with him. And that's what you need: people who are in the trenches, people who are not afraid so that people can touch them, reach out and touch them. You know what I mean? So we can appreciate that. Who else? And then we had the young man.
Scott. What's his last name?
Yeah.
Did I say it wrong?
Yeah, I don't want to mess up his name.
Okay.
But yeah, and we needed young people on the panel to bring a different perspective.
Very proud of his maturity and how he was able to navigate and answer the questions. I was very impressed with the young man. And so he's a part of the Collegiate 100 or something. He's a part of different organizations, which highlights the importance of male mentorship and getting a hold of these babies while they're young so that you can support the path and the right path that they need to be on. Now, as a woman sitting in the audience, I thought that, skinny Mr. Averett, I thought that he brought genuine substance to the conversation. I liked about how he explained how business started in his home with his mom.
Yeah.
And now it has, launched to what we see on South Lumpkin Road. And it is a beautiful establishment, well run. I've been inside, had a tour. It's a beautiful place. But he talked about the steps and all the different things that people may not consider when it's time to open a business as an entrepreneur. So I appreciate the content that he brought and the substance that he brought to the table. I felt everybody, for the most part, was genuine in conversation and substance. And I did feel like certain people were grandstanding. I did feel like, they needed to be overheard or talking too much. And so, I think as men, y'all need to be able to have some feedback and talk to each other and let people know how they're showing up.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they understand how they're showing up and how it's not beneficial to whatever they're trying to do in the community. I'm not the type of person I want to talk about you behind your back, smile in your face, and not share, okay, this is a place where you can improve or, you're doing this good. I think as men, y'all need to do better in doing that. People, you don't have to like it. You may not like it, but it will help you grow. It'll help me grow. That's how I feel. If people really care about you, then they have those tough conversations.
Yeah, and those conversations are being had. People are just not. They don't want to take it. They don't want to take advice. They don't want to listen. They want to do their own thing. And at that point, you gotta let them do their own thing. That's all you can do. I mean, it's the truth. You try to give people advice. You try to tell them, hey, for the greater good of the community, we advise you to do A, B, and C.
Yeah.
But if they choose to do something else, they're on their own in a sense.
Listen, and so I have learned being here since 2017. If the elders in this community tell you to have a seat or to wait, I think you need to have a seat and you need to wait.
Yeah.
Okay, because you're not going to get the support that you're hoping for. And to me, it's a waste of money and a waste of time when you can listen and, and get in alignment with what the community is asking for and how they want to support. So, to each his own, but to me, it's wasteful of time and money.
But the conversation is they're being had. And shout out to Joshua Glass. That's the young man that was on. Yeah, he was on the panel, Collegiate 100.
Okay.
Amazing young man doing great things. And he's a role model already.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's what we need, young men, to mentor other young men. You know what I mean? And bring them along. So, yeah, it was a great opportunity. We had a good time. We talked. We had a lot of good talking points. Entrepreneurship, like you said, we talked about. And opportunities. The title was Health, Wealth, and Opportunities. So we can't talk enough about opportunities that African American people, black people need.
Right.
And that's part of the issue that we have with leadership and the way that the country is being ran. Opportunities are being taken away every day.
Every day.
Every day our opportunities are being squandered for the benefit of white supremacy.
Right.
When has America ever been great?
Right.
Please put in the comment section. When has America ever been great?
When? Was
it during slavery? Was it during Reconstruction? Was it during Jim Crow? Please tell us when America was ever great.
I would like to know. Because
they keep talking about making it great again. When was it ever great?
Right.
It can be great. You know what I mean?
But it hasn't been.
But it hasn't been. And it won't be until African American or black people are given the respect and dignity that we deserve. That's when you can say America is great. Because black people built this country. Hands down. Hands down. But this country won't be great until we get what we deserve. Period.
Right. Absolutely. And, they're economically a powerhouse, I guess. I don't know, because they're overspending and foolery. But they were at one point because of free labor for over 400 years.
And they're still getting it free.
Yeah.
They're still getting it free through prison labor.
Yes.
Yeah, so ain't nothing changed. It's a different, what do they say? It's a different movie, same cast.
Yes.
So ain't nothing changed.
Right. But, and let's talk about the budget review, speaking about money and things of that nature. This past week, on Tuesday, was it? We had our budget review. We have our books printed out here, right? So we were sitting in the audience, highlighting, making notes, things of that nature.
Yeah.
As we followed along, we saw Dr. Broadwater in the front. He had his, he is technology savvy. He had his laptop following along. Denise had her stuff printed out, and Sherry was there. She was following along. Not many of us present.
Yeah, it was empty in there.
Not many of us present.
It was empty, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, not many of us present, but again, they're having this stuff during times where people have to work. And with what we have going on in our economy, you really can't blame people for working, honey. Yeah,
we can agree to disagree there.
Was Corey at this one too? Did I remember seeing him at this one? I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't think he was there. Corey, were you there at the budget review meeting Tuesday?
Yeah.
I don't believe. Well, I left early, so I'm not sure, but
yeah. So
we were looking for you though.
Right. So this budget review is a few things that I want to highlight. The first thing I want to highlight is shout out to the director, Miss Angelica
Alexander.
Yeah. Standing for over 2 hours at that podium, going through over 260 something pages of presentation for this budget review. No water, no restroom break, no anything. However, and I'm pointing this out because people need to be able to see the foolery that we're getting from our city council, and when they try to make excuses or placate it like we're not doing anything wrong. Well, she stood there for over 2 hours, no restroom break, no food, nothing to drink. And they sit there, counselors, asking questions, explain this, explain that. And she did all of that with no issue. But they're telling us during a small part of the city council meeting, the public agenda, the only time that the citizens have an opportunity to speak on concerns, that they cannot sit their behinds in those chairs and listen. They got to take this time, and it looks like it's been planned. This is when you go eat.
Yeah.
This is when you go to the restroom. It's during the public agenda. Because we don't have to vote on anything, so we don't have to listen.
Right.
And in addition to that, some people have communicated as soon as they see certain people get on the public agenda, they're getting up and they're walking away. Okay? Not making this stuff up.
Right.
That is unprofessional. They will hold other people accountable for things. They will point out things, but they need to be held accountable as well for being petty and being unprofessional. You're not a regular citizen. You know, you're not a citizen. You have asked to be elected and to represent citizens, and you need to carry yourself accordingly.
And
Period.
Leadership, right. You're in a leadership role. You're in a leadership position. How do you have, with all of the issues plaguing the city, how do you have time to be in somebody's comment section about what they said about you or comments that they made about you?
Right.
And that's what we have going on with city council members.
Petty.
How do you have time to be commenting on what a citizen said about you versus the issues that are facing our city? Right. And that's why they got to go. That's why they got to go.
Absolutely, because that is just very immature. Is very irresponsible of time, especially when you're complaining about you not getting enough money. Well, we're not paying you to be on social media and people's comments. And while you have friends out there reporting people on social media, talking about you should be at work and you on the taxpayer's dollar, so are city council members on social media on taxpayer dollars. Even if it's only $25,000 or $26,000 a year, you're still getting money and you still need to be productive. So that was one of the things, that I wanted to shout out to Miss Angelica, the finance director. Yeah. I mean, they have been through hell and high water with this city council causing chaos. And I have to give it to them. I have to give it to her because she still shows up in a professional manner. The other one I want to talk about is Davis, right? I was blown away, honey.
Who's Davis?
There's only one.
Well,
Glenn Davis.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure that people understand who we're talking about.
District 2. This joker says, how are we going to fix the overspending? How are the departments going to stop overspending? He's asking the finance director this when in fact city council is the one are the ones who approve the overspending. They approve it. Right. We just witnessed how the sheriff came and said that they need over $300,000 for this. Exactly. $4 million for this. And who approved it? Not the finance director.
Right. And they need extra money for the jail, the new jail.
Not the city manager.
It's crazy.
Not even the mayor. The council approved it. They motioned and approved it. And they have been motioning and approving all of the overspending. So, where do you come from what place to ask the finance director how they can fix it?
Exactly. I mean, you make it make sense. Make it make sense. The power lies with city council, period, point blank. Yes, the city manager has a great responsibility, but at the end of the day, the last word and the last vote lies with city council. Right. Period, point blank.
And Ms. Mack says these city council members don't really be paying attention. Most of them are always on their phone. You are telling the truth.
Listen, that's why we need new leadership. And that's why we're advocating for people who are in the community, who are of substance, who has experience. They need to step up and run. Right. You know what I mean? That's why we're advocating for people to step up and speak truth to power.
Now, the next person I want to talk about is Kogel, right? Oh. She asked for a snapshot. Can I get a snapshot so I don't have to, go from this page and that page, finding information, right? Foolery. Listen, a good leader knows you have made notes, you have highlighted, you know that budget review or book or what have you that they have provided you, like the back of your hand. So what she told me, what she communicated very loud and clear is that she showed up unprepared. She's not willing to do the work. She already said that she didn't understand. It was hard for her to understand the budget, and it has to be dumbed down for citizens. And guess what, honey? In reviewing this budget, I don't know what citizen she thinks that it has to be dumbed down for, besides herself. because it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty clear. I'm confused. So if it need to be dumbed down for you, then you speak for yourself. But don't use the term dumbed down for citizens that you are supposed to be representing. That is disrespectful and it's dismissive, because most of us got more degrees than you can count.
That part. And we already talked about that, how the inequality between black and white, you don't need degrees, you don't need experience, and you can be in a position of leadership. But then a black person has to have all kinds of degrees, has to run faster, jump higher, and all these other things just to be on the same level as somebody.
Right, and I hate math. I had to take statistics, accounting, all of these things. So don't sit on your high horse and talk about some darn dumbed down. Yeah. The only one it's dumbed down for is apparently you. And it was apparent that she did not, review the book, didn't want to flip through just lazy, didn't want to flip through the pages. Can you give us a snapshot so she can be able to explain? Do your work. Yeah. Make sure you understand the budget, because on too many occasions, if I had more information, if I knew, I wouldn't have made. That's why she's got to go. Right. She's got to go.
And that's why she's not fit to be mayor. Yeah. That's just one of the reasons why.
She's got to go.
There's many reasons, but that's just one of the reasons why she's not fit to be mayor. I mean, what kind of leadership is that? You come unprepared?
Right.
You know what I mean? That alone is a red flag.
Right. And then overall, I would say, most of the counselors were quiet. Mr. Chambers chimed in on making sure HR employees are taken care of, the studies are implemented, competitive pay. I feel like that's his area that he is championing on, is making sure the citizens that work for the government are taken care of. Yeah. I think Toya Tucker had some things to talk about, which, some of it I found to be contradictory. First, she started off saying that the temporary positions that were provided by grants, the departments don't need to come back and ask for them to be permanent, right? Once the money runs out, the job is done. Yeah. And they should not be coming back asking for the departments, the positions to be permanent. But then you had some people get on the public agenda and say, we need those positions. We need these people. We wouldn't be able to run effectively without these people. So then further down the line in this budget review, she says, with the inflation and people not being able to make, ends meet, and, now you care about people. Yeah. Now you care about increasing their pay, but you also want to fire people and terminate positions. A little contradictory to me. And it seems like, people just love to hear themselves talk, or they talk a lot, and they don't understand exactly what they have communicated. Because if you care about increasing pay, then you need to care about also not terminating jobs for citizens who are depending on the pay and this livelihood for their families. Yeah,
and that's what Travis Chambers keeps talking about, And they do need to retain talent. They need help. They can't afford to fire anybody. The city needs help. Right. We both know that there is employment. What's the I can't remember the name of it. But they cannot afford to lose employees. Right. Period. So Travis Chambers is talking about making wages competitive so that people, they can retain people.
Retain their,
and get the best talent. You know what I mean? So, and that's the only way you can do it is to pay people.
Right. And then it's on record, they have asked for support in the finance department, resources, positions, and you have denied them. You have denied the positions, but you want to hold them to this high standard of, making sure everything is taken care of, but you don't want to help them. But you will readily help the sheriff and the police department.
And certain judges.
Please understand, this is nothing against the sheriff department or the police department, but you just got to be fair across the board. If you can make arrangements and make, concession for the sheriff department, $2 million is a lot of money.
It is.
And for the police department, the finance department is up there with these folks. They're getting fired for, things not being correct or whatever the case may be. Why not support them? Why not give the director the positions that she's asked for? This is like the third or the fourth time that they have denied what they've asked for, but they want to put them on blast and talk about money is missing, uncollected, or whatever you want to call it. It's not okay. It don't make sense.
I agree.
It don't make sense.
Yeah, it's got to change. They got to do better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Okay, honey.
What we got next?
Listen, we got about 3 more things to talk about.
What all we got?
The rants for LaJoy. He got on social media today and made a final plea. Please, please give me a chance. Please, please vote for me.
Yeah. I can't say it again. What Mr. LaJoy has to say is null and void. The man is a supporter of Trump. Need I say more? There's nothing else to discuss. You see what we have going on with the president. So anybody who's in support of that says it all.
Right.
And he wants to be mayor of Columbus? Are you kidding me? There's no way.
He can't even practice discipline right now. He has blocked people left and right who do not agree with them. He has threatened people left and right who do not agree with him. Listen, today is Sunday, and he was cursing up or something on a Sunday, but they claim to be Christian folk.
Yes.
Like, what kind of Christian folk are they, right? And I get the people curse, but my Lord, we used to have respect, at least on Sunday.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And what I mean by that is, I'm not worried about him cursing. That's the last thing I'm worried about. He is a MAGA supporter. That's all I care about. That's the beginning and the end for me.
Yeah.
Is that he supports Trump.
And basically, he attacked Kogel and he attacked Mr. Hughley. The entire message. He attacked those two. The entire message.
And he wants to lock up black folks.
Yes.
That's his plan for Columbus. Public safety, law enforcement, public safety. I'm going to make our cities. I'm going to make our city safe.
Safe.
And that's what he keeps saying, and that's what he keeps, trying to make us believe, that the city's unsafe, the gangs are out of control. Yes, we have had a significant gang problem in Columbus, not just Columbus, in Georgia, period, but crime has gone down significantly.
Right. And
this man is still talking about locking people up.
Right. That's his leading voice, is to lock them up, make Columbus safe. And what's unfortunate about it is that, he talked bad about Crab. He talked bad about a lot of folks today. The whole city council.
He can't afford
right.
to.
So it's like, sir, people have not voted you in for a reason, and you don't have a wing and a prayer, as my Mama T would say, not a wing or prayer. And so, at this point, begging and pleasing and all kind of stuff like that for people to give you a chance, it's wasteful.
The man is a racist. And that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
You don't get. I'm not getting past that part.
And how about
part of the problem,
all
sir.
the Hispanic people that voted for Trump, and he brought ICE in strong, right? So if you don't think if you don't think that LaJoy would follow the same situation, he would make sure Columbus is cleaned up. If you think that people are afraid to go to school and go to hospitals and do this, that, and the third, someone like him in office would definitely tear the city up.
Yeah. It's already
intentionally and on purpose.
Yeah, it's already on life support. And putting somebody. Trump is his hero. Need I say more? That's who he looks up to.
Miss Mac says, yes, Christianity is out the window when they get mad. Yes, honey, out the window.
Listen, we could talk all day about Christianity
on a Sunday
and what it means to white supremacists.
Yeah,
it means something different.
Yeah,
to certain people. So Christianity justifies slavery. Christianity justifies putting one group over another. So, it means something different to certain people. So we got to be careful when we talk about Christianity, because they said during the slave trade that this is God's will.
Yes.
That is what they were trying to say. So
yes. Mr. Wilson says to think these people knew what they were signing up for when they signed up to run for mayor. If you ain't righteous, the real one gonna call you out. The emotional and unprofessional responses is a clear indicator you're unqualified to run a city of 250,000 people. Yes, sir.
Period.
That's
Point
right.
blank. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Lacking emotional intelligence and discipline right now. And that's him. Plus what's the other one? Mr. Kelly.
Steve Kelly.
Plus Breault.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Breault ain't serious anyway.
Plus Colbert. She can't even be honest and transparent, and she's being dishonest about what she has done. So yeah. All right, the next thing is the Young Dems. They are a new organization, almost a year, I believe, here in Columbus. The president is Mr. Witt, Samuel Witt, right? So a few things, right? They're a young organization, and usually when you're a young organization, you want to align yourself with mentorship, leadership, so that you are not bamboozled. And I will say they have been bamboozled by Kogel, right? And instead of them paying attention and figuring out how to fix the situation, the president, because there's a young lady that's a part of this organization. Okay. She's been very professional. She's been very respectful. But this young man,
Young Dems? Okay.
Yeah, it's an African-American young lady.
Okay.
Very beautiful young lady. She's been respectful. She's been professional in response. Like, you're not going to always agree with what people say, how they say it. But when you represent a professional organization, it is your responsibility to represent that organization with tact and respectful, dialogue. Yeah. Which is more than I can say for this young man. He's very disrespectful, very emotional, diarrhea situation all over social media. And that's not the way that a president should conduct themselves of an organization on social media. Yeah. So pretty much they were bamboozled by Kogel. And I don't know if it was intentional. He says it was not. But of course, he showed up at her campaign launch. What are you doing there?
Yeah, what kind of message does that send?
What are you doing?
Elaborate on how they were bamboozled.
Okay.
From people who weren't here last
so
show.
This is what I would say. This is what I would say. You see the comments? This is what I would say that... I would say this, right? There needs to be structure in place, disclosures in place, because, the picture game is out of this world. People love to take pictures. But as an organization, they need to sign a disclosure that either you are allowed or you are not allowed. We do this with Role Model Academy. Yeah. We make sure there's a waiver to get permission for you to use pictures, because you're not allowed to just show up and take or use pictures without permission, right? So a system in place, because what they did was endorse Dr. Bryant Colbert. Yeah. And they publicly announced that they endorsed her. And then Kogel sent out hundreds, if not thousands, of flyers with the Young Dem president and some of the members to the city. What does that communicate? Right. It communicates a endorsement. It communicates support. It communicates that Dr. Bryant Colbert does not have that kind of money to send those types of flyers out to the community. So what people are going to see is that they endorse Kogel, not Bryant. Exactly. And that is a disservice to Dr. Bryant. That part they didn't get. They didn't understand. Instead, he wanted to attack me.
Yeah, he was offended.
Yeah, he wanted to attack me, talking about some you know better and sickening. You right, I do know better. And you gonna know better too the next time you address me that way. I do know better and have enough common sense to know that when you are working with these different candidates, that they need to sign waivers. They need to know that they don't have permission unless you gave them permission to be sending pictures out to the whole city as if they have been endorsed. Right. And then you want to jump on the bandwagon of somebody else's comments supporting them when you are guilty of the very same thing. Right.
And even us, we had a candidate ask us if they could use footage that we had that they were in. And we had to tell them no for that same reason. Right. Because we don't want people to think that we're endorsing this candidate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what you have to do. But he didn't do that.
Right. Either she asked and you told her yes, or she didn't ask and you gave her permission, or however. But she sent out hundreds, if not thousands, of those flyers with you on it. And the other black people making her look like, she gets along with black people to our city. And your endorsed candidate is Dr. Bryant. Now, does
Dr.
Brian?
Colbert.
Yes. Does her campaign have enough money to send these types of amounts of flyers out? Heck no.
Yeah.
So this has ruined what she has going on. Period. And you can get mad and you can be upset, but this is what's happened, and you need to understand moving forward how to fix it. Okay, and honestly, I feel like he's very unprofessional, and he has set the bar low, and they need some new leadership.
Yeah, they're gonna have to have somebody in there with experience who can tell them like, hey, this is not a good idea.
Right.
Somebody with foresight and experience.
You need disclosures.
Yeah.
And somebody should have already told you that, so that somebody like Kogel's campaign, because they are smart and they knew exactly what they were doing, would have advised you and made sure that this wasn't something that happened. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is the community bullying that's going on with two small business owners.
Allegedly bullying.
Well, I'm about to read it because we're going to read the receipts. One is a candidate, and one is, I believe, the campaign manager. And we're talking about Briault. How do you say his name?
Chris Briault.
Chris Briault and Mr. Flowers, right? So a young lady posted on social media. Let's see. She said, what happened went far beyond that. He attempted to have me fired from my position, which he publicly characterized as a tutor at a mediocre community college. This is telling of how he thinks of our community, right? I am a tenured associate professor at a state college. He located my professional contact information online, information that publicly is required by the Board of Regents, and coordinated a harassment campaign in which people called and texted me to deliver a message. I will quote directly, "You're sick, not a real professional." He threatened to sue me for defamation, despite the fact that everything I shared was a matter of public record. He then publicly offered to defend, free of charge, anyone who harassed or doxed me. I ultimately had to retain legal counsel. This made me so upset today. And let me read you the other one. The claim that Flowers was bullied for not supporting Hughley is hard to take seriously, given the documented behavior of those making it. Briault waged a sustained harassment campaign against me for sharing factual sourced information about his record. Flowers amplified that behavior by encouraging his followers to use sexually degrading language towards me. Calling that crowd victims of bullying requires a selective memory. So, you know what? These are two men in our community. One is running for mayor. One is considered a leader in this community, an influencer from here. This is unacceptable.
Yeah.
They are business owners. They're not accountable to anybody but consumers and clients. This young lady, they stooped so low to try to get her fired. Apparently, whatever she shared must have been right. Apparently, she shared some powerful information for them to conduct themselves the way that they did. And as a community, we cannot accept this type of behavior.
Right.
It is not okay to attack a citizen, double team a citizen for sharing information, factual information, she said, public record information. It's not okay. And this is a shame.
Yeah, and you got to know, and that's what we're talking about, the leadership that lacks emotional intelligence, and those who are immature and being petty at the end of the day. They are retaliating. If you get on the public agenda and you're saying things or holding them accountable, they don't like it, and they will try to get you fired. They will retaliate in some form, shape, form, or fashion.
Yes.
And that's what's happening out here. People in these elected positions and in positions of power are trying to silence your voice, period.
And I'm very disappointed. Like,
rightfully
you know,
so.
I've been seeing on social media I have unfollowed a lot of foolery, right? I have unfollowed a lot of foolery, but I've been seeing a lot of stuff on social media. But to know that these people would stoop to this level to call this person's job,
well, I'm not surprised.
To harass her,
I'm not surprised,
and to call her names, I cannot believe. Like, how dare you run for anything?
Well, Brielle is not serious anyway, so we know he's just there to split the vote. That's the only reason he's in the race, and he's using Terrence Flowers to help do that. So it's a concerted effort, it's a collective effort to whitewash the vote, to split the vote, and take votes away from Isaiah Hughley. That's what this is all about.
And, you know, all you got to do is search these people. And so the first picture, when I search for Brielle for mayor, is a picture of him and his daughter. And I have a question. Would you want grown men, would you want men to treat your daughter like this?
Right.
Would you want them to harass her and to bully her and to try? I am upset. And to try to get her fired from her job. Would you want somebody to treat her like that as a citizen in this country? You would not. And you would not even tolerate it. And then for Mr. Flowers, you have a beautiful queen, a beautiful lady. Would you want somebody to be calling her job, harassing her, using sexually degrading terms, trying to get her fired from her job for having a voice and an opinion? You would not, and you would not tolerate it. So how do you all feel like it's okay for you to behave this way to a citizen in our community? I just, it's not okay. It's not acceptable, and people need to be held accountable. We cannot support this type of behavior.
Well, that's what you call hypocrisy. It's okay to do it to somebody else, but then when it hits their doorfront or when it hits their household, it's not okay. You
And
know
I
what
don't know this young lady.
That's what you have going on.
I don't know her. I haven't met her in person. But everybody deserves dignity and respect. And if you don't like what she's saying, then don't post. Block her, because you have the right to do that. Unfollow, whatever. But do not harass people. Do not try to get them fired. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's what's happening. That's what's going down. And like I said, this is part of a collective effort to take votes away from Mr. Hughley. And they're willing to do whatever it takes, even if that means degrading or attacking citizens.
But they feel comfortable. They can say what they want to say.
That's what I'm saying.
They can do what they want to say and get on here and be like, oh, I'm being attacked. Or, oh, I couldn't go into Shirley B. A little birdie told me I couldn't go into Shirley B. So I went to Northside. You want to play victim, but you on here bullying a woman, a young lady in our community? You on here using sexually degraded content to a young lady, harassing her? Allegedly, this is what's taking place. We got to say allegedly.
Well,
we can say allegedly, but I don't think this young lady would post this information.
It's not to discredit her,
right?
But
and
for the sake of our platform, allegedly, this is what's taking place. This is what we see. This is what we've been told that is happening. And again, Mr. Flowers, Chris Brielle, is a collective effort. In my opinion, these guys are doing this to smear Mr. Hughley and to split the vote so that Joanne Cole gets more votes, period. Like, I see it for what it is.
And the thing is you can share what you want to share. You can say what you want to say. You can, share whatever receipts you have about a candidate. But do not attack private citizens. Do not, God, that makes me upset. Do not try to get people fired.
Right.
That is not right.
Right.
That is disgusting. And it's not manly. It is not manly at all. It's real sassy and it's real petty. And I can't believe that this is a conversation that we're having for somebody that's running for mayor, and then that's somebody that's from here and is considered a freaking pillar and leader in this community. So it's unreal.
It is. But listen, it's been real, y'all. That's all the time we got for today. We appreciate the support. Make sure that you share this with your friends and family. Don't let the conversation stop here. Make sure that you're getting out to vote. This is the last week for early voting, so make sure that you show up, make your vote count, make your voice heard, and, do your civic duty. Support African American owned businesses. We can't say it enough. Support your own. Take care of your house first before you go spend your dollars in another community. Support the water boys. You know, donate water. If you don't want the water that they're selling, at least give them a donation, because that helps them, that motivates them to continue to go on and continue to do the right thing. So, yeah, it's been Candid. Of course, always, we appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all next Sunday right back here, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Candid Conversation.
Yes.
Anything you want to add before we leave?
We got student council. We got city council coming up on Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Yes.
The agenda is good. It's packed with some good things. We have the budget review coming up right after that. They're trying to schedule it for 12 p.m. And then we got the Latino Forum, what Mr. Quinones is coming up on Monday. That is tomorrow,
Yes.
May 11th. Please plan to attend. This is maybe your last opportunity
This is the
to
last
hear
opportunity.
from all of the candidates. If you haven't voted yet, you got the rest of this week to get your early voting in, and then you have an opportunity to hear from these candidates again. We do know that Mr. Hughley is not supposed to be present because he already had an event to be at. So everybody else, we understand, they're going to be there.
Yeah. So again, we appreciate it.
Good night, y'all, and
Good
thank
night.
y'all so much for the conversation. Thank you. Please have these conversations with your sphere of influence. And men, please, don't hurt private citizens. Don't do this to private citizens.
Peace and love.
Don't let people treat people bad like this.
We'll see y'all next go round. Good night.